You have the same record as the Mets.
If you,
dead last.
Let's just say you go to Atlanta this weekend and get swept again. You're going to be double-digit games out in April. Double-digit games out in April.
There are 3 teams with single-digit wins this year left, and the Phillies are one of them with 8, tied with the Mets.
They're the worst team in baseball right now.
It's awful.
Their run differential is definitely the worst team in baseball.
It's awful.
No, let's not fool around here. They're the worst team in baseball. They're not worse than the Mets. I mean, they're worse than the Mets. The Mets are a minus 26. The Phillies are a minus 50-something.
Yep, minus 50.
They're the worst team in baseball. And we can easily say this is the worst team.
They're not even competitive, though, too. They're just
Pete,
not
when they
in,
gave up
in
that,
these games.
When Taijuan Walker gave up the home runs last night, the game was over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The game was over.
Yep.
As soon as Walker, and by the way, they went lifeless in the first inning against Harper, just flew out to center field. You know, for Bryce Harper to have the audacity to ask for an extension, he's got some nerve.
That's a lot of nerve.
He's got some nerve. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, and live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube, 97.3 ESPN YouTube channel. Check that out. Hey, stop on by. If you're coming to the Balcony Bar, we're at the Fanatic Sportsbook. You come up the stairs, and the bar is here. We got food, we got drinks, we got drink specials. Phillies are on, draft getting ready for tonight. Talking draft, Rick Saratella, NFL Draft Bible. He's going to give us what he sees happening tonight in the first round. That's coming up next. This is the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill
And it just keeps getting better.
on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
2:30 Sports Bash live at Ocean Casinos, the Balcony Bar. Stop on out and see us live at Balcony Bar for the show today. Draft party. We're giving away Eagles Club Box tickets for a game this season at Lincoln Financial Field. Now, we don't know the schedule yet, so we'll see what the home games look like. But someone's going to win Club Box seats for the game. And then we got overnight stay to Ocean. We've got concert tickets, comedy shows, all sorts of Ocean Casino gift cards. That's all here live at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. The Sports Bash is live. Rick Saratella, NFL Draft Bible. And, of course, it's his Christmas Day as well. Draft Day is here, everybody. Let's get into it now with Rick Saratella. Of course, he is back for Draft Day. I know you got a busy day, man, so I appreciate you giving us a couple moments.
Always love talking football with you, Mikey, and what a great day for the balcony. I wish I was down there with you.
Yeah, we're up here at the Balcony Bar overlooking the sports book, and if you were where's the bet in this draft? Where's the storylines emerge?
Well, I think right there at number 2, David Bailey is the betting odds favorite. However, Arvell Reese, you can get plus money right now, and I can't get over the fact. Now, it is the New York Jets, but they canceled the 30 visit with Bailey late last week. And to me, it's like if you're going to select that man number 2, you probably want to get him in the facility, get to know him a little bit more. Also, Aaron Glenn has spoken they want to have a more flexible hybrid type of defensive scheme. That, to me, speaks right to the talents of Arvell Reese. So I know, a lot of people are saying David Bailey, but I think it could be Reese right there at number 2.
So you think the storyline start at 2 in this draft. You got the Giants with 5 and 10. Rick, how interesting have they become now that they have 2?
Yeah, I mean, this is a culture-setting season for Harbaugh there, and I think Caleb Downs at number 5 makes a lot of sense. He's my number 1 overall player, gives him a back-end safety. You saw what he did with Kyle Hamilton there in Baltimore. Makes a lot of sense, and then I think they have to kind of wait and play the board at number 10. Could Sonny Styles slip? Could Carnell Tate be there? They could come away with 2 Buckeyes out of the top 10.
Going to say Downs the safety. He's one guy. Obviously, the Eagles could use a safety. Not getting to 23. Where is the sweet spot if you wanted to trade up that he could get to?
Well, if the Giants bypass him at 5, Washington would be a possibility at 7. And then, I think that would be really the trade spot. Now, what's interesting is at 18 and 19, you have 2 more teams that need a safety in the Panthers and the Vikings. So you could see 3 safeties selected in the first round for the first time in nearly a decade. It hasn't happened since 2017, and that, of course, would involve Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon and Marcus Freeman McNeil from Toledo.
So at 23, is a safety something that you would be keeping an eye on if you're Philadelphia?
No, I think they might be out of luck. To me, the worst secret in football right now sounds like A.J. Brown to the Patriots, right? So, to me, 2 things here that fascinate me when it comes to the Eagles this draft. One, I think Denzel Boston out of Washington makes perfect sense as a big-bodied receiver that can come in and kind of help fill that A.J. Brown void if they do part ways. Secondly, if that trade is going down, you wonder if New England at 31 may be actually selecting for the Philadelphia Eagles since they can't complete that trade until post-June 1st.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of keeping an eye on that, this whole A.J. Brown thing. What about wide receiver? 23 wide receivers, Rick. Give us some overviews on some wide receivers that you like and that could be an option at 23.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to come off the board early and often. We mentioned Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. I see Jordan Tyson possibly going as high as number 8 to the New Orleans Saints. Mekhi Lemon should also come off the board pretty soon. I have him going 13 to the Rams. And then Omar Cooper Jr. right now I have slotted at 16, but he could potentially slide to the back end of the first round along with the Denzel Boston. And Zachariah Branch, who I had kind of knocking on that first-round door, got himself into a little bit of trouble this past week. So now maybe he becomes a day 2 value. But the wide receiver position, really, I think it's a position that you have to pounce on early and possibly even trade up.
If you take a look at, I want to get your thoughts on Sadiq. And I see over at All Access Football, your 7-round mock draft that you guys sent to emails today. You got Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt to Philadelphia at 23, which I was like, whoa. Sadiq, everybody is wondering where he kind of runs, but do you think there are 2 first-round tight ends then?
Well, that was our contributor there that put out the 7-round mock, but I am a big fan of Eli Stowers because I got a chance to visit him in training camp back in August, and this guy is really well put together, both on the field, off the field, had a hell of an NIL payday. Coaches said it never got to his head. You saw the athleticism, set the combine record with the vertical jump mark, and he's still improving. I mean, this is a converted quarterback turns tight end. He's really made waves in the passing game. His blocking continues to improve. I would not be shocked, if you see a second team grab a tight end. If Sadiq could go as high as 15 to the Tampa Bay Bucks, maybe the Jets at 16, and at that point, maybe you do see George Kittle. I see is going to be hurt. Kansas City needs to pass the torch from a Travis Kelce, so I wouldn't rule it out. And I do have in my mock draft, Mike, I had a surprise, maybe not a surprise selection at 32 with the Seattle Seahawks because everybody talks about Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, but I have Jadarian Price, his backfield running mate, going to the Seahawks at 32. So you might see 2 running backs in the first round.
Okay, well, obviously Philadelphia with Saquon Barkley, and they've drafted running backs over the year, probably not in the mix there. But as you just said, tight end, wide receiver, edge rusher. Let's talk about them. I want to get Rick's favorite edge rushers. 23, is that a good spot if you need an edge? Because everybody's speculating Jonathan Grenard for 54. I want to get your thoughts if you would do a deal like that. But let's see the edge rusher class.
Well, it's this is where the Eagles could be in play here because word on the street is Reuben Bain is in for a big slip and slide. And at a certain point, I think Howie Roseman would be the one to maybe roll the dice and trade up and nab a Reuben Bain if he slides past a certain point. And to me, I don't get it, Mike. I think a lot of NFL teams are going to have egg on their face when we look back in this draft. I remember Derrick Henry was too tall and ran too upright to be a running back. I think we're overthinking it with Reuben Bain. So he's my favorite of the bunch, but, David Bailey's going to be off the board early. I like TJ Parker out of Clemson. I think he's a pretty polished, fundamentally sound pass rush repertoire, hand in the dirt, defensive end. Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M, I think, is going to be more of a stand-up guy, also lacks that prototypical arm length. And then you got guys like Keldrick Falk who could kind of set the edge against the run, have flashed a little pass rush repertoire. Bain's teammate, Akeem Messidor, I think, is also in that first round equation, a little bit of an older prospect, 25 years old. So there's a lot of variety, and I think edge rushers, offensive tackles, always 2 positions that get bumped up the draft boards.
All right, we're talking with Rick Saratella. You can check out all of the coverage, All Access Football, NFL Draft Bible. The other spots, I mean, the offensive line is the obvious thing here, right? Is that the best? If you're at 23 and you need an offensive lineman, does that make the most sense?
Yeah, I think so. It always makes sense, especially if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you can, again, wait and see how the board plays out. Maybe a Caden Proctor slides. I think he's the ideal candidate. He could start off at guard, eventually kick over to tackle. Obviously, he had some weight issues there, ballooned up to 390 pounds at one point. But I love this talent, the athleticism, the mobility for a big man, and he's got some feistiness, well put together. Max Ionacher is out of Arizona State, moved to the U.S. at 13. High school didn't offer a football team. Only been playing organized football since 21 years old when he landed at Los Angeles Junior College. So you're talking about a guy that's really got a big ceiling in terms of his growth and development. And then, I think Blake Miller from Clemson could be a candidate. Again, we're keeping an eye on the Patriots at 31. If the Eagles bypass a tackle, that could be – I have at least 6, maybe 7 offensive tackles, including the 2 Utah players in Spencer Fanu, Caleb Lomu, and then we have Francis Mauigoa from Miami with the herniated disc issue now with his back. I don't think it'll have too much of an impact on his draft stock. But man, oh man, this is going to be flying with the offensive tackles. And whatever it's
Yep.
worth, Ione Vega out of Penn State to me is the best overall offensive lineman. And if I was Philadelphia, I would consider trading up. Say Baltimore bypasses him at 14. Well, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm thinking about drafting that young man in a trade up.
I like, who's somebody you trade up for? If you were at 23 and he starts to fall, Rick Saratella, guys that you like that you would trade up for.
Yeah, I think I just said a couple of them. Ruben Bain out of Miami, the edge rusher. I like. Who did I just mention? I was a big fan of, but
A lot of linemen.
yeah, a lot of linemen. The Penn State guard. That's to me, he's a top 5 overall talent. If Caleb downslides, he's the number 1 overall player. If one of the big 3, I think there's 3 big receivers in this. If say a Mekhi Lemon, who will probably be the 3rd one off the board, slides, he's a guy I would go up and get. So, Kenyon Sadiq.
Yep.
I think you got to consider it. I think
Okay.
he's an explosive playmaker. You can't teach that kind of speed, especially down the seam, and that would help a lot opening up the offense for Jalen Hurts. So I wouldn't mind that either.
Pick 54, which is obviously tomorrow, but would you move that pick for a player like Jonathan Gennard?
I would, because you're not going to get a player that is
Okay.
that caliber, I think, at that spot. And we just talked about it, all these pass rushers that are going to come off the board early. When you get to 54, if you're an edge rusher still on the board, well, it probably comes with some kind of wart, some kind of inconsistency, some kind of medical concern or off the field issue. So to me, at least you know what you're getting. Renard can get to the quarterback, proven commodity, veteran guy. I don't think you're going to get that kind of value at 54.
All right, Rick, where can everybody find you the next 72 hours for draft coverage?
Yeah, unbelievable. We're just 5 hours away almost until the draft. We're going to be live streaming all 3 days right here on Twitter X, YouTube, social media. We got a jam-packed show lined up for you tonight. I'll be hosting with a lot of the NFL Draft Bible family and friends. We got Brian Baldinger stopping by to give us some analysis. The legendary Howard Balzer, covering the NFL for 50 years, Pro Football Hall of Fame writer, will be joining us. And we'll be live streaming all 3 days, every single selection. So if you're looking for an alternate perspective, especially day 3, stream on over. Of course, the NFL Draft Bible is available over on the website, allaccessfootball.com. And I think I'm scheduled to be back here, right here tomorrow with you, Mike.
Tomorrow, 2:30 is what we're looking at, to have him recap round number 1, all the madness right here.
Let's
Not
do it.
March madness. This is April madness for Rick Saratella. Okay, check him out, and we appreciate him jumping on board. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. Thanks to Rick Saratella. Check out NFL Draft Bible. There's a quick little breakdown of all the spots. We're going to talk to Andrew DeCecco for Football at 4 later on today as well. By the way, Brandon Marsh hit a home run for the Phillies.
And Sanchez is already in trouble, though. 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Gloom and doom. If you can't win with Sanchez pitching, when are you going to get a win?
I don't know if you're going to get a win.
1-0 Phils. We got it on here at the Balcony Bar. We got draft coverage on. There you go with the draft coverage. It's our Eagles draft party at Ocean Casino's Balcony Bar. They got food up here. They got drink specials. So come out early. Come out often. Bring your friends. Now, you had to be a qualifier to win the tickets. If you did not qualify, you can't win the tickets, but you can hang out. Drink specials, food specials, all that happening right here at Ocean Casino Resort. We're hanging out all day. Phils are on the TV. Draft coverage tonight starts right here on 97.3 ESPN. Flyers win. And on the other side, I got Sixers news. Stick around for that. It's next on the Sports Bash.
With GMF financing, qualified buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
April is the month to save at Bennett Chevrolet, because we've got an offer you won't, no, you can't find anywhere else. Get here now and save up to 20% on new Chevys. Yes, Bennett Chevy is selling new Chevys at GM supplier employee prices. And you keep all the rebates, saving you up to 20%. Ask yourself, where can you save more than 20% on a new vehicle? You know the answer, nowhere but Bennett Chevrolet. Plus, if you're looking for pre-owned, Bennett will give you a minimum $10,000 for your trade. And we don't care if it runs. Just get it here and get a minimum 10 grand for your junk. Just imagine how much more we'll pay if you've got a quality trade. And you never get haggled or hassled or need to negotiate at Bennett Chevy, because our non-commissioned sales team is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We didn't do a whole lot out here on the court. It's been a kind of double long film session, and we went through some, just kind of this time of year stuff. We went through a few things we think are bothering us. We make a couple of suggestions about ways we want to cover things. So it's a pretty extensive kind of walkthrough type. It's a little bit more than a walkthrough, but not much more.
Game tonight, or tomorrow night, Game 3 against the Celtics. According to some reports, Kai Carlin, Nick Nurse said today on Joel Embiid, quote, "We're obviously really hopeful," and I think he's really hopeful. He wants to play, and we want him to play. I don't know how close we are at this point, but I think there's some progress being made. That is what Nick Nurse said regarding the availability of Joel Embiid. So, does it sound like Joel could be ready for Game 3?
Oh, come on.
I'll take him.
Come on. I don't know if we'll be ready for Game 3. Now, did you see what MKB said on Twitter today?
No.
He said he feels like it's more likely he comes back for Game 5.
Well, we were talking about that yesterday on the show. We both said Game 5. But hearing that, what Kai Carlin put out is that he wants to play. We want him to play. Now, he's like, obviously, we got to see. I think Game 4, I don't think tomorrow he's going to play.
Okay.
I don't think tomorrow he's going to play. Anybody think tomorrow he's going to play? I don't.
I think Game 3 is the bigger game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Game 3, obviously, you got to get Game 3 tomorrow somehow, some way. But I don't think he'll be available for Game 3.
You think he's going to try and push it? Remember, VJ Edgecombe was talking about he doesn't want Joel pushing it too much.
Well, this is the time to push it, though.
All right.
It's tied 1-1. You come back to Philly for Game 3. You get Embiid back.
I don't know.
Well, obviously, you're in
quick.
a situation now where you won a game without him on the road.
Is he medically cleared? If he's medically cleared, then he's got to play, right? I mean, conditioning or not, I don't care about that. You got to put him out there, right?
I mean, if he's medically cleared to go, then
I think he's going.
Yeah.
What's the holdup here?
I
don't know. I mean, is he medically? I don't know what medically cleared is with this.
I don't know what medically cleared for Joel Embiid is ever. So, I mean, if he could go, he could go. If he can't, he can't yet. I mean, that's pretty quick coming back from the appendectomy. His size and all the issues he's had in the past.
So, Adam Aronson, our buddy Sixers Adam from Philly Voice, says, the Sixers say Joel Embiid participated in parts of today's practice.
Yep.
Well, we talked about this yesterday with Michael Cassidy-Bowman. You're not running like hardcore 5-on-5.
No.
Most of the time you are doing
that's
light stuff.
That's what Nick Nurse kind of just said. It was kind of more like a walkthrough type of thing that they went through today. But it's still positive. It means he's out there. He's getting involved in the practices. I mean, he's ramping up. That's a clear sign of ramp up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he had an appendectomy. I mean, it's not like he had an injury where, you're waiting for a hamstring or a groin or a knee or a back or anything. Like, this is more the incision sometimes has to heal.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at. And then once that happens, what goes on to get you ramped up and ready to go? When was the last time Joel played? I mean, it's probably been.
It was that Spurs game, wasn't it? When he dropped 34.
Monday. That was a Monday night.
And he hit that dagger 3
weeks ago. So talking about again, is he going to be in shape? Is he going to be able to? I mean, how many minutes is he going to be able to play? All that stuff. I mean, this is an unfortunate part.
Now, are you on the train? Are they better without him? Are they better with him? I mean, I think it's pretty clear they're better with him.
Absolutely.
But there are people on that train that are like, we don't need Embiid.
I'm not on that train.
Neither am I.
You won a game without him. This is much like the year that you played Boston with Harden. You won a game without him. Now, you could say they lost in 7 games with him coming back there. They played. Did he miss 2 games in that series? Did they win the first one? He didn't play. I don't remember. But listen, you're not winning anything without Joel Embiid. You're not winning an NBA title, and you might say, well, you're not winning one with Joel Embiid either. You take your best shot with Joel if he's healthy enough, meaning his knee's not bothering him, his back's not bothering him, his gas isn't bothering him.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Go down the list.
Listing everything.
I'm running. His obliques not bothering him.
No Bell's palsy.
All of it. All right, coming up next, our Phillies fastball. Phillies are tied 1-1 with the Cubs, but we're getting into all the other issues coming up next.
It's Sixers playoff basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. The Sixers face the Boston Celtics. Listen as Tom McGinnis calls all the Sixers playoff action.
Maxey, another three, straight away, it's got again. He got a high screen by Drummond and nailed it. He came off to the right, and another triple. Timeout, Joe Mazzulla.
It's Sixers Celtics Game 3 tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on South Jersey's home for Sixers playoff basketball. 97.3 ESPN. home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
All right, 3 o'clock hour, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. The 3 o'clock hour is brought to you by Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, a trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, installation for generations. Call 609-390-3907, online, broadlees.net. Our Phillies Fastball is brought to you by Ventnor Social, the place to catch every game for the Phils this season. Got day game going on right now. We're live over here at Ocean Casino. Next Thursday, a week from today, we will be at Ventnor Social, and we'll be checking out some Phillies day game baseball again. But forget about the game today. All the action started before the game. The Phillies released Taijuan Walker. We've talked about it a little bit today, but we're going to get into it right now. As Taijuan Walker released another awful outing last night, an ERA over 9, a whip over 2. So, Oscar and Jeff, Phillies Fastball. Jeff, let's start with you. The Phillies move on from Taijuan Walker today.
Yeah, I put out a tweet last night about Taijuan Walker that people did not like, but the reality of the situation was I did not think he was going to be back after this start. Look, the guy does work hard. He's a good guy in the clubhouse, but sometimes you got to go with the results, and the results are what we see down there. 1-4, 9.13 ERA, 8 home runs. He just hasn't been good. And you just can't keep trotting him out there every fifth day. There's no role for him in this bullpen. You just have to eat the $15 million at this point. I'm honestly surprised that they did it as quick as they did, but I had a feeling last night after watching that performance, there was no way they could bring him back.
Oscar, are you surprised that the Phillies actually pulled the plug on this?
Look, the Phillies are trying to make move to get out of the massive hole they're in right now. And look, this guy, 9.13 ERA, you give him 5 starts. I mean, you've given him through his career tremendous opportunities, and the guy has not been effective. And look, the reality is you prefer to have Rangel in the roster than having Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker, you put him out there. What? How many 8 home runs in 22 innings? I mean, come on, guys.
Rangel's down now too.
Actually, right. They sent Rangel back because he pitched yesterday, so he's probably not useful. Nolan Hoffman got recalled today before the game.
Again, having somebody from the minors that is probably going to be a lot more effective than this guy. I mean, 22 innings, 36 hits, 11 base on balls. I mean, you have 47 runners on base in 22 innings. I mean, 17 strikeouts, not good enough. 8 home runs. I mean, this guy's not good enough, period. That's it. I mean,
you're a bad baseball team right now, and you have no chance to win when that guy pitches.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anybody – I tweeted this out this morning before he ended up getting released, so I don't know if the Phillies were reading my social media timeline. But, I said how in good conscience Dave Dombrowski can continue to keep Taijuan Walker on this team, because if I've argued over the years, people say, why does Thompson keep starting him? And until Dombrowski got rid of him, Topper had no choice but to start him because you're paying him $18 million. The GM dictated, this guy's on the roster. How else am I supposed to use this guy if he's here? This was the only thing I could do. So he had to keep starting him. And then they put in this wonky opener yesterday, and he couldn't get that done. So the writing was on the wall. They tried him in the bullpen last year. He had no role. And I'm glad that they finally were big boys and ripped the Band-Aid off and made the first move. But it might be too little, too late.
Yeah, and you can't worry about the optics, right? You can't worry about what the fans think. Oh, they should release Taijuan, or they should release this guy. No, you just have to do it. Like you said, just rip the Band-Aid off, Mike. And that's what they did. And does it look bad right now? They're paying, $17.8 million to Nick Castellanos, and it's like $15.5 million to Taijuan Walker. That's basically $33 million you're paying for 2 guys to not be here. But I think this just shows you the problems with this team and why they couldn't make this roster better, because you're paying 2 guys that aren't here.
Look at his numbers yesterday. This to me summarizes the career of Taijuan Walker in Philly. 4 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. You allow 2 home runs. I mean, forget about it. You cannot pitch. Continue to pitch. I mean, They said, well, you're having issues starting the game. Let's go with a start. Look, guys, you tried everything with this guy. Enough is enough. That's it. Done. I mean,
and you know what's funny? The manager we had. So Oscar knows this. There's a lot of office meetings with the manager, especially on day home games, and we talked about Taijuan Walker, about them potentially doing this opener, and Rob said, well, he still has to pitch a first inning. It just won't be the first inning. So I think Rob even knew then, like, hey, look, yeah, we're going to try this. That doesn't mean it's going to work. And it didn't. So what do you do? It's like what Mike said, like what you said, Oscar. What do you do with this guy? You just can't throw him.
You do what you did today and let him go try to find another opportunity. You got to take the hit. But as I will say, and I tweeted this out this morning, listen, the problem with this team right now as I see it, and I don't know that you guys agree, and you don't have to agree, Dave Dombrowski has handed out bad contracts. Castellanos, Walker, they have not worked. And it has gotten to a level where, look, Dombrowski, I think we all can agree. He has World Series. He's an accomplished guy in this game. They're not going to just fire him. So now it comes to Middleton. The pressure is on this organization. This story that comes out today, that they don't have a left-hander to throw batting practice. I mean, there are high school teams that have 48 coaches on them, all wearing pullover jackets to throw batting practice. And the Phillies don't have one. The optics of the whole organization. Now, Oscar, I'm not saying this is why they're losing games, but the optics are not good.
Yeah, the optics are not good, but we're looking at every little detail, trying to find a solution around this. I mean, let's keep it high level, guys. This is the 5th highest payroll team in all baseball. We started this year 8 and 16. We're probably not. I'm going to tell you right straight up. This team is the worst team in baseball. I mean, we have a minus 50 run differential, guys. Minus 50. Let me
Oscar,
put it this way. No, time out. The Colorado Rockies are minus 15. The Colorado Rockies, minus 15. We're minus 50.
Oscar, there's a statistic out there that is really funny. This is how much the run differential is between the Braves and the Phillies right now, so I'm glad you put this out here. The Braves could lose 7-0 to the Nationals today, and the Phillies could beat the Cubs 100-0 to get even in run differential.
Well, it
that
tells
is
you guys,
incredible.
I mean,
so the by the way, the lineup for today is Turner, Schwarber. They flipped those guys last night. They went right back to Turner, Schwarber.
Oh, again, they didn't score last night. It's the players. You can rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic all you want. The ship's still going to sink.
Right. So they gave that lineup one day. Turner, Schwarber, Harper. Reyes is playing left. Marsh is playing right, which is what I said yesterday. They would put Reyes in the outfield and move Marsh to right, and they'll say that Garcia's just sitting for the day. But they're going to have to make a decision. Is Reyes now your everyday number 4 hole hitter? What happens in this situation? Predictions.
I think that's worse than this whole optics thing with the left-handed pitching thing. And I'm glad you point that out. Like you don't have a left-handed pitcher throw these guys in bang, whatever. But the fact that you have a 25-year-old who, let's face it, I was told a month ago, he has to hit for about 3 months to get up here, and then we'll consider him. Now he's your cleanup hitter. What is wrong with this team? Why can't their major league players that have had success in the major leagues, and I'm looking at Alec Boehm, and I'm looking at JT Romero's hurt, but I'm looking at Adolis Garcia, Bryson Stott, anybody. Why can't these guys hit right now?
Good question. I don't know that I have the answer to that, why they can't hit right now. You talked about it, Oscar. Actually, yesterday on the show, I had Dave Gallagher on, 9-year Major League Baseball veteran, played with the Phillies in 1995, and he's a great storyteller about his experiences. And he said he's watching Boehm as a guy who needs a mental break. Right? He just needs a mental recharge. I don't know if he could go on the injured list because of that, but that's what he asked. Can you do that where he just needs to take a 10-day get
minor
away
league,
from this thing.
Minor league. You put him in the minors for 10 days.
He has to agree to that, though.
He has to agree to that.
I mean, I'm saying, I get he has to agree to it. Look, you're part of this organization. We want the best for you. We think it would be helpful for you to go down there. Get it?
But does he think the organization wants the best for him? He will not be a part of this organization next year.
It's a tough spot for them. It's a tough spot with him. And Miller not being ready, that doesn't help things. They got a mess on their hands with this whole situation. You got Reyes in the 4-hole. By the way, the rest of the lineup behind Reyes today, Marsh, Stott, Bohm, Crawford, and then Stubbs is catching. So it looks like bringing Stubbies up didn't help last night, but we'll see if they can get some vibes
you know what
going
bothers
today.
me? I want to screenshot Lehigh's lineup today and just post it and be like, okay, Phillies fans, who's going to replace Alec Bohm? Who's going to replace Bryson Stott? Who in this lineup is going to do that? Who are you legitimately?
What's the name of the guy in that we signed? Kabert? I mean, the
Carter
guy.
Kieboom? But he's not on the 40 yet. Like, you want Bohm on the 40?
No, but beyond that, he's not better. I mean, he's not the solution here, guys. He's not the solution. Look, you have what you have. This is the 5th most expensive team in baseball. You have to run them, and they need to figure it out. Schwarber, Turner, and Harper, starting with them. I said all along, those are the guys that need to carry this team. Do what you need to do. Turner, I mean, he got 1 hit yesterday. Schwarber struck out twice. Harper didn't get a hit. You were, 1 for 12 with 4 strikeouts? Not good enough, period. That's it. Those are the guys that make the money. Those are the guys that need to get you out of the hump.
And if you want to look at the positives, Alec Bohm did have 2 hits. And Mundo Sosa, who platoon for Bryson Stott, too. That's what you want. But you're right, Oscar. Now all of a sudden your big guns aren't hitting. They're not playing team baseball at all.
Last night, I want to get your thoughts real quick. Sosa, as we see in the box score, 2 for 2. They go by the book last night and hit Stott in that spot. Thoughts on that?
Look, to me, Mundito is an emotional guy. He goes 2 for 2. You got to let him play. I mean, you want to put Stott in there, you replace him with Baum. That's it. That's what you need to do. And look, finally, we got a hit with runs in scoring position, and Mundito did it yesterday. We went 1 for 4, 7 left on base. Look, the bottom line is everything is not working, right? Your starters are not going deep. Your bullpen now has 3 important guys in the disabled list. I mean, with Duran, Bolin, and Pop. You have Ramuto now that you don't have your starting catcher. He's out on the IL. I mean, everything's going wrong. So what happens is, look, and Christopher Sanchez have to go against one of the best pitchers in baseball today in Cabrera. I mean, so you're stuck. I mean, you're stuck. You gotta keep running them out there until they figure it out. That's it.
Look, we can talk about 2027 all we want, and I will right now, but Alec Bohm's not going to be here. I don't think Bryson Stott's going to be, not with this performance. By the way, he was terrible after he came in for Mundito last night. Adolis Garcia's not going to be. That's when you make those changes, but this is where I agree with you, Oscar. You have to just run this out. They have to figure it out. We're only 24 games in. Can 8 and 16 teams make the playoffs? Yes, but how far, like I'm not panicking, but you just can't keep losing like the way they're losing.
Well, you're not scoring.
The Mets won yesterday. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, they finally won.
Doesn't matter. The Mets are 8 and 16. You're 8 and 16. They lost 12 in a row. You're in the midst of an 8-game losing streak. This is bad for both of these high-priced clubs. And you guys are right. You don't have any other answers other than to just keep running this out. But that doesn't mean it's going to change anything. Because, Jeff, you're right. You looked at the Phillies systems. One of the problems this team has is they're a little barren. They don't have young guys. Miller's hurt. Escobar not ready. You don't have guys that are ready. So your AAA guys are more 4A level players. So this is what you got. You're not going to go and say, hey, I got a guy who's ripping it up like Otto Kemp at AAA. You've already seen that Otto Kemp is not coming up and helping you. He's a 4A player. He is not a major league guy that's going to come up and all of a sudden hit 290 with 15 home runs. They don't have those guys. So this is what it is. So it's either going to turn around or it's going to be an ugly season.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's looking like it's going to be an ugly season. I mean, there's no way around this.
I tell people, you want to look toward the future, go to First Energy Stadium and watch Reading fight in Phils. Because that top of that lineup, Reading is leading the Eastern League in team ERA. They are leading the Eastern League in home runs. They are third in the Eastern League in batting average. They started 0-4, and they're 9-8 right now. Like, this team is catching fire. The prospects are there. Escobar, Nori. I know Henninger's not really hitting right to start the year, but he has power. Like, there are guys in that lineup that can hit. Alex Benillas, who's easily in the Eastern League in home runs right now. I didn't even realize like he was a thing. He looked like he was a career minor league. Now it looks like he's too good for Double-A.
Well, listen, we've seen these guys, Otto Kemp, guys like that who end up having very big minor league numbers. But how many of these guys are legitimate major league guys that can help the team? We'll see Reyes. He's in there right now. How long do they give him? We'll see. But I
really like his at-bats. His at-bats are very, very competitive, no matter the pitcher. I mean, sometimes yesterday, Horton got him on a changeup, a couple of changeups, but he looks the part to me. He looks like he's a major league hitter.
Yeah, he does. I think he has staying power. I really do. And what I like about Reyes is, again, I said it yesterday, no fear. He's very disciplined at the plate, like you said, Oscar. He's just having good at-bats. Even on his 0-for nights, he's looking good. Like, I think he's a guy you got to keep in the lineup. I just think it's a really bad indictment that he's the cleanup hitter. But also, I want to point this out. They had Kyle Schwarber in left field yesterday. They had Harper playing DH. They had Reyes playing for. I think they're going to be mixing that up around a lot more, too.
See, like for example, they sat Sosa today. I would not have sat Sosa today.
I wouldn't have either.
I'm sorry. I mean, Alec Bohm haven't proven to me that he's a consistent hitter. Cabrera is a hell of a pitcher. I mean, this is going to be, look, the only way the Phillies win this game is if our friend has a great game today. I mean, it's
Christopher
like,
Sanchez.
Yeah,
started.
Christopher Sanchez has a hell of a game today.
I'll tell you what,
he's the only guy that has gotten us 6 innings in the last month. I mean, whatever, the last 2 weeks.
There is only one player on this baseball team that I think can win the Phillies a game. He's starting today. Christopher Sanchez. I don't even think Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber could do it because they're in this offense. I think Christopher Sanchez can do that.
Well, I mean, if Kyle Schwarber comes up and has a 2-home-run day and Harper has right now, look at the box score last night, guys. 2 runs, second inning, no runs the rest of the way. Second verse, same as the first. And then somebody, posted on X at me and said, you're blaming Taijuan Walker. This offense can't hit. I said, I agree with you. However, Walker comes in the game, and promptly, when the Phillies finally get a lead, he gives it right back up, and that's just demoralizing.
When they entered, and he gives up a run, then he gives up 2 more runs, and then he can't get out of the 5th. It's, I mean, really, and I said the starting pitching to me has been more disappointing than the offense because I thought the starting pitcher would carry this team.
Agree.
The offense is struggling, and it
but
hasn't
Oscar,
done it.
9 hits, they only get 2 runs. I mean, again, they got hits. You got the number. Only 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position, 7 left on base. The Cubs were 3 for 9 with 7 left on base, but 9 hits. They just couldn't get anything going. No, it seemed like you get 9 hits,
guys.
you should but you get 9 hits, you should start. There should be some action on the bases.
Yeah, I mean the other thing, no base on balls. And 12 is strikeout. What that tells me is
12 strikeouts.
Lack of discipline. That's what it says. Lack of discipline on the plate. I mean, you have Marchand got 2 strikeouts. Schwarber has 2 strikeouts. Adolis Garcia has 2 strikeouts. I mean, it's lack of discipline on the plate. I mean, that's what that
is my
means.
issue. Like, say if you fire Kevin Long, you just say they do that. That's not going to stop these guys from striking out.
They're not. I mean, they're not. It's who they are, guys. It's who they are. And it goes back to the beginning. I mean, look at our postseason, the last 3 postseasons. I mean, we didn't hit. I mean, that's the bottom line. We did not hit. I mean, Castellano was our best hitter 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It's getting bad, and you wonder what the murmurs are inside that organization right now. Are they looking at it the way us 3 are having this conversation of, guys, we're in some trouble here? Because I don't think John Middleton and Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson looked at this team and thought that this – look, one of these years may have been coming with the age on this team. I don't think they thought it was this early that the age of this team was going to start to bite them.
And I'll tell you what, this is a big year for this organization because this organization has been touting, we got the All-Star game. We got a really good team. We have a team that's going to compete. Oh, by the way, it might be like 96 where you're in last place and you have the All-Star game. That is not a good look for John Middleton in this organization.
Yeah, look at this. Just look at this for a second. Cabrera, 13 at-bats by Baum, a 154 batting average. Harper is the one that's hit him. He has a home run in 10 at-bats and a couple RBIs against him. The rest, I mean, Stubby has a couple. I mean, he has a 500 average against him. So look, it's not going to be easy. Schwarber has a 163 batting average with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. It's not pretty, guys. I mean, but the big bats, they need to deliver.
Hey, listen,
Turner has
Oscar,
3 hits, he has 3 hits and 10 at bats.
Oscar, you could put the left-handed pitcher who throws the Phillies bat. Oh, they don't have one of those. But if you put that guy in there, they wouldn't hit him either.
I mean, look at our numbers against lefties now. 2 for 10 against lefties this year.
Anytime a left-handed pitcher,
2 and 10.
Anytime a left-handed pitcher play, you chalk it up as a loss. You just do.
By the way, Oscar, you would know this. They don't have a win against an actual lefty-handed starter, right? Like one that is not an opener.
No, they won 2.
Aren't they like 0-7 or something?
They won 2. They're 2-10 against lefties. I mean,
I'm talking about non-openers. Like actual starters.
Look, I have to go back and look at it, but I mean, the bottom line is they're 2-10 against lefties and 6 against righties. We got a righty going today, but this is ugly. Look at that. 0-3 this week. Two runs, 2.3 runs per game, and they're allowing 6.3 runs per game. I mean,
by the way, these 2 weeks are like the 2 weeks of hell. Like the Cubs are that much better than them. The Braves are that much better than them. Maybe they just not need to play them.
The Marlins are playing better than them. I mean,
I got news for you. Everybody's playing better than them. Not the Marlins, not the Nationals. Everybody is playing better. And that includes the Mets right now. By the way, the Mets are awful. They're only a minus 26. You're a minus 50. So everybody's playing worse than this team right now. You know what? We're canceling Phillies fastball. It is over. The Phillies fastball has jinxed this team.
I think it's more of the ghost energy thing in left field, whatever it is.
I mean, we could change the name if you want to, Mike.
Phillies slow pitch softball coming up tomorrow. All right, guys.
Phillies left-handed pitcher. That's
unbelievable. Marlins are better. Michael, yes, everybody's better. All right, Phil's lose 8 straight, trying to get on track today. Live action against the Cubs. Day baseball at Wrigley Field. There's nothing better than day baseball. You ever go to a day game at Wrigley Field, guys?
Oh, it's incredible, guys.
I've never been to Wrigley. It's on my bucket list. I would love. I hate how the Phillies play them in April, by the way. I wish it was June or July for once so I could go.
I went in June. I guess it had to be like 10, 15 years ago, but I went one time. It was fantastic. It was something I want to get back to and do again. Day baseball for the Phils as their struggles continue. We'll see tomorrow during Phillies fastball. Can they turn this thing around? But the big news, Taijuan Walker released. Jeff and Oscar, thanks, guys. We'll talk to both of you guys tomorrow.
Go Phils.
And again, 5-2, Cubs lead, couple homers. Sanchez pitching. Can't win with Sanchez on the mound. What do you got?
Yeah, Cy Young candidate, giving up 5 runs today and you can't win? Not good.
Not good. Draft party live at the Balcony Bar. Now, Balcony Bar is right atop the sports book. So if you're driving around, you're hanging out, you want a place to watch. I don't know why you would want to watch the Phils. This is dreadful. They're down 5-2. But you want a place to watch a draft tonight, we got it on here. Bar's actually already pretty full. We got drink specials, food specials. But stop on in, come on up to the Balcony Bar and check us out. The Sports Bash Live. We got draft, we got Sixers, we got Phillies, but we got the Flyers.
The Fly
that got
guys.
us all pumped up. Or Sports Bash on the way. 97.3 ESPN.
We have the Phillies covered.
Swing and a drive, right field, way back, forget it, out of here. Kyle Schwarber hammers one over the right field wall.
Get the best Phillies baseball coverage on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN. You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash live at the Balcony Bar Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We've got a ton of stuff to get into today. Flyers with a win last night. They are up 3-0 in the series. That series is over. I'm already looking for flights, hopefully to Raleigh. So I'm trying to price these flights out, but I can't get this flight to launch here for me. It's all loading up.
When was the last time we had a sweep in this city? In any sport? It's been a while.
Ooh.
Right?
Last week. I'm going to look that up. I'll find that nugget for you.
Trying to think of the Phillies.
Week. Well, the Phillies swept the Cardinals in 2022, 2-0, though.
Does that count?
That was a 3-game series.
I don't think that counts.
Wild card series. I'm not 100% sure on the hockey side, though.
7-game sweep. That's pretty good.
You don't get that often.
Nope.
But it looks like the Flyers. I think the Flyers now, like I said, if Pittsburgh wins Game 3, that they would win Game 4. And now I think Philadelphia, who got the win, I think they will win Game 4. Saturday night, 8 o'clock. You can listen to the game on 97.3 ESPN. The Phillies are down 5-2 already. Now, Christopher Sanchez is pitching today.
Gave up 2 bombs.
2 bombs.
One was out of the ballpark.
Somebody hit one out of the stadium the other night, too. It's all gloom and doom on the Phils. 5-2. The Cubs have 11 hits already against Christopher Sanchez.
In 5 innings.
And we're in the 4th inning. And we're into the 5th inning. In 4 innings, they have 11 hits and 5 runs. And you can see the Phillies right now are keeping Sanchez out there because they don't really have any other. Their bullpen is so taxed that they don't have very many options right now. So Sanchez is in the game. It's 5-2. And let me tell you, the look of the Phillies at 5-2, it's almost as if they know they cannot win this game.
Deflated. That's what they look like. They look totally deflated. They don't look like they can even come close to coming back in this game.
It's deflating.
Well, guess what? I found the nugget.
The trivia.
It looks like 2023 first round 76ers sweeping the Brooklyn Nets.
There you go. Who would have thought it would have been the Sixers that would have been the answer to your question? Is anybody?
That was the Harden. Was that the Harden Sixers?
That was the Harden year.
The last year of the Harden Sixers.
Is anybody excited for the Sixers tomorrow night? Yeah,
I have my hand raised. If you're watching on the X and YouTube. Yeah, I'm excited. They're coming back 1-1. Like people were saying, oh, they're going to get swept. They have no shot. Nothing. 0-zip. I'm excited, and you're getting this news about Embiid. Yeah, I'm going to be excited about it.
If Joel plays, my hands off.
The way Edgecombe played in Game 2, now, do I think they're going to win the series? No, I picked them to lose the series.
I mean, he says if Joel plays, you're excited.
Yes.
No.
I would tell you there's no shot that he plays tomorrow.
No, I'm excited no matter what.
I don't think
However,
so. Game 1 was so disappointing.
Game 1 was very disappointing, but they bounced back.
They did bounce back.
People get so wrapped into the final score. You lost by 30, and then nobody cares. Why do people get, like, we watch sports long enough our whole life to know the final score. I get it. I'm not saying they did look good, but they didn't look good on Sunday. Then on Monday, they look different. You look bad one day, you can look good the next day. We get so hung up on, you lost by 30. It's an embarrassment. You know what? They don't care at all how much they lose.
That sounded like a Schweim impression.
But seriously, like, we watch sports our whole life, and people still get wrapped into these, like, well, they lost by 30, and then they suck. They suck that day, but they're professional athletes. They can stink one day and then be really good the next. And for them, listen, I'm not proclaiming they're going to win this series, by the way, but for them to lose by 30 one day and then show you that 2 nights later that game did nothing to deter them and them. Now, you could say that Boston overlooked them a little bit and didn't play all that well because they thought, hey, this team is going to roll over and die. That's not how professional sports work. Generally, teams don't roll over and die unless, look, they're down 3-0, they're on the road, and they're ready to move on. I thought the Sixers showed that we're not ready to roll over, and I kept asking the question over and over. Why should we not expect this team to be competitive with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and Paul George? Like, their guys they have Tatum, they have Brown, and they've got White. After that, they got a bunch of role players. I'm not saying they're not good, but I'm saying The Sixers have top-end talent just as much as they do. Why would we give the Sixers a free pass to just get their ass kicked?
Well, that's why I said it was such a big series for Tyrese Maxey. You need Tyrese Maxey to carry you to a win. Does he want to be that top-of-the-line guy? Does he want to be that top-line flight superstar, tier 1 superstar? I need to see Tyrese Maxey carry them to victories in playoff games in Boston. And listen, Edgecombe was great, etc., but
I agree. Listen,
but
if
Maxey was great in that game too.
If we want to put Maxey
in that category
onto the next category to where we're ready to say, build the team around Maxey, this is Maxey's team, then I can't give you a pass in a playoff series to just go out there and get swept. Like, that's unacceptable. If I want you to be my guy, my next franchise cornerstone, at what point do I expect you as the franchise cornerstone to start leading me to series wins? Now, I'm not saying that they're going to they should win this series. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they should be competitive in this series, that it should be a 6-game, 7-game series, and that the reason is because, and Keith Smith was on the show last week, and I thought he said something that was kind of interesting. He said, he grew up around a lot of Boston fans, and that the Boston fans that he knows, they all say they hate Maxey. Not because they don't like him, but because he scares them, because he's that good. Well, if that's the case, shouldn't we be disappointed if the Sixers don't win a game here at home and send it back to Boston 2-2 at the very least?
Hell yeah. Listen, I wanted to see fight out of the 76ers, right? We know it's Boston. We know they're a Goliath. I get that. But, yes, Tyrese Maxey, if he wants to elevate to that tier 1 of being a superstar in the National Basketball Association, I need to see him carry a win like James Harden did a few years back, right? I mean, that's what you need. You need him to win you a game or two in this series for people to take him seriously as a true superstar.
I've been saying it for 2 weeks now.
Yep.
If Maxey is
about
the
Nuggets
guy that you want to be the guy, if you're saying this is Maxey's team and he's got to be the guy, then we should be disappointed if they are not competitive in this series.
Now, I understand you have $50 million of payroll sitting on the bench, all right,
and
Joel Embiid.
And 30 points,
yes.
28 points.
So I get it. They're not as deep as these other teams. I get that. But however, you're good enough, like Mike just mentioned, with Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, etc., being at the top flight of your lineup, they can win you a game or two or
Well,
three.
they've already proven that they can.
I know.
And by the way, not only did they prove that they can win you a game, they went on the road in Boston and did it. You know what? Okay, they win a game at home. You're down 3-0, and maybe it's like the game that you end up winning. No, they went to Boston and won. Now, again, I'm not saying, man, now I demand that they win the series. But I do expect them to not roll over the next 3 games here and get the doors blown off of them. Now, maybe Boston woke up. And listen, I think what Justin Edwards said the other night is the sad reality of the NBA.
Yeah.
It's a make-or-miss league. And if Boston comes out and just barrages you with 22 threes, the Sixers are not going to be able to match that.
No shot.
No shot. But as we talked about with MKB on yesterday's segment, I think Oubre has a big game somewhere in there. He has not had a big three-point shooting game yet. Paul George is going to have he has not had a big scoring game, really. He had 19 the other day. Does Paul George have a night where he can score 30? And you get those guys all to have a big night. But it is incumbent that Maxey has big nights almost every time out. Because you know who's not going to not show up? Brown, Tatum.
Yep.
Those guys show up every time there's a playoff game. And when they don't, they usually lose. But guess what? They win a lot. You know why? Because their 2 guys show up all the time. And that's where Maxey has to be. And I'm not saying he hasn't, but you got to look at the box score every night and say, Maxey scored 29. Maxey scored 35. Maxey scored 28 and gave them a shot to win that freaking game. That's the expectation that I have for this series. Not that they're going to win the series. I'm not saying that, but I still think Boston's better.
That was Maxey game 2 when he went on that little, 6-0 run by himself,
Yep.
whatever it was.
Well, you need that. You need Paul George to win you a game. Tyrese Maxey, Edgecombe, one of them can carry you to a win. And then if you get Embiid back at 4 or 5, whatever it may be, then guess what? You have a shot. They should have a shot to win this series. I'm not saying they're going to win, but people were saying they're just going to get swept, roll over. In game 1, it looked like that. But this is a good enough team that you could say, you know what, they should make this a competitive series.
By the way, the last Flyers sweep, 1995. Wow. I was in high school.
That's the
They swept the Rangers and then ended up losing in the conference finals against the New Jersey Devils. Yes, 95 is a Legion of Doom or Legion of Zoom, one of those two. That is the last time the Flyers pulled off a sweep. What type of bets should you put down for tonight's draft? We're going to find out the best options, what players have had the most movement, and what bets have been being placed on the Eagles pick at 23. We're going to be joined by Patrick Gloss, the sportsbook director here at the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, and he's going to give us all of the little tricks of the trade that are going on right downstairs from us. We're live at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Crowd starting to filter in. Don't forget, you must be present to win. We've got the tickets, club box seats to see the Eagles play a home game this season. By the way, Trey Turner strikes out. Come on down. You're the next strikeout on the Phillies are lousy. We'll talk to Patrick Gloss, the sportsbook director, coming up next.
It's Sixers playoff basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. The Sixers face the Boston Celtics. Listen as Tom McGinnis calls all the Sixers playoff action.
Maxey, another three, straight away, it's got again. He got a high screen by Drummond and nailed it. He came off to the right, and another triple. Timeout, Joe Mazzulla.
It's Sixers Celtics Game 3 tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on South Jersey's home for Sixers playoff basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Catch all the sports action this April at Ventnor Social. With 20 big screen TVs, you won't miss a second of our Philly baseball, basketball, and hockey teams, championship golf action, and pro football draft. The deck is open, the drafts are ice cold, and the game day food and wing specials are ready for you. And when the game's on break, jump into the arcade and create your own action. Catch it all at Ventnor Social, Ventnor Avenue in Ventnor. Check out their Facebook page for the latest specials and events.
Need a new car and have no idea. It's got to be a matte black Kia.
26 matte black Kia Sportage, $139 per month. All new 27 matte black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Plus, get up to $3,000 over KBB fair market value for your trade.
Matte black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's got to be a matte black Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 due at signing. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Offers don't combine, expires month end.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, welcome back. We're live at the Balcony Bar, Ocean Casino Resort. The draft is tonight. Eagles 23. We're going to get you details on how to bet that pick and everything. Where are all the bets coming in on the draft? Phils are down 5-2. No surprise there. They actually had a lead. They coughed it up. Get any bets laid down on the Phils. Patrick Gross is the sportsbook director here at Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort. That's where we are, high atop at the Balcony Bar, looking over the sportsbook. Any you getting a lot of Phils action right now?
Phillies have been quiet. It's been a lot of people excited about the Flyers.
Oh yeah. People betting hockey.
People are betting hockey. When hockey local teams are in it, we see a lot of action. So
right. No New York teams this year. First time ever. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
No Rangers, no Islanders, no Devils. First time ever.
The whole slate. Wow. Yeah. No. Didn't know that was a first
timer.
timer.
You're noticing you're not getting a lot of no wagers on those.
No
teams.
wagers on those.
But
teams,
are people getting fired up?
Oh yes, they are.
Yeah?
Yep. We're seeing a lot of spike in futures, Stanley Cup, the whole bang.
What are they going at right now?
2,500.
Wow,
yep.
A little value there.
Yep.
You see that Nuggets plus 2,500 for the Fly Guys right now to win the whole thing. Draft night. Is this a highly bet day?
So it is leading up to it. Once the draft happens, we take the lines down because so much is going on. But in between the draft picks, we see a lot from the end of the Super Bowl all the way up to today.
So what type of things are bet for draft day? What are some of the offerings you do? If you walk into the sports book, we got a lot of people on their way here trying to win these tickets today. I'm sure in the next half hour or so it's going to start filling up. What can they go down to the Fanatic Sportsbook and lay a wager on?
Yeah, so we offer what player is going to be drafted for all top 16 picks. After we get to 16, it's player over-unders for everyone that we think is going to be drafted in the first round. And then for each team, we have what specific position your team is going to pick. And then some of the positions overall, how many are going to be drafted in the round. So if you're looking at, okay, how many running backs are there this year? How many tight ends?
Is it hard? Is it more difficult because there's really only one first-round quarterback? I mean, I guess Simpson hot, so like that over-under's got to be a little interesting.
We have it at 1.5,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
But right now we're thinking that Simpson is going to go in the first. His position that we think it'll be is around 25.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, we had our draft guy on earlier.
Yeah.
He thinks there could be 2 running backs taken. Do you know that over-under?
The Notre Dame running backs going and Seattle saying we don't have a running back, we got to take one.
That's exactly what he said. At 32, he thinks there could be one right there.
Yeah, our number is 1.5 also, but slightly edging that it's only going to be Jeremiah Love.
Okay, so let's look at what picks are getting the most action, because we talked to him at 2:30 today, and he thinks the real action does start at number 2.
It is different this year. A lot of times we're able to say, like, okay, we got the first 3 or 4 locked in.
This one seems up in the air.
Jets have been, quiet. Cardinals are hard to
We're
get a
gonna
read
have Sal
on.
Pal on at 5 o'clock from the Jets headquarters, so we'll see if he can
maybe
lock
he can
it
tell
on
me,
something.
because we keep changing it, right? We keep going, Bailey Reese, and even all of those top 10 picks, really, because it's a lot of just different position types. There could be a lot of movement at the top. We're seeing heavy stuff once we get to 10. Once we get to the Giants' second pick, those are the ones that are getting the most.
And the Giants now have 2 picks, as we know, 5 and 10.
Yes.
Which has got to be good for business here.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Gross is the sportsbook director. So what players right now have the most kind of movement happening?
So right now, the Tennessee corner, McCoy, his injury news.
that ACL.
Yeah, that's really moving him late. It is interesting to look, right, because we're talking about this at the end of the season, and then the combine happens, all these things happen. Ruben Bain has been an interesting one.
In fact, when Rick was on with us earlier, he feels Bain is a definite slide down scenario.
So there's a lot of value there because, we end the football year and he's consensus number 2 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got short arms and whatnot. We start falling in love with Reese and Bailey. So we have gotten some people trying to take the long shots on, not long shots necessarily, but there is value if you're picking him to go to the Titans, Cardinals, one of those teams. It's a possibility. The other one that we saw a lot of movement on was the Oregon safety. Thieneman was second round, late first round pick, and then
when we talked to Rick earlier, I think he said 3, possibly 4 first round safeties, but more going towards 3,
2 or 3,
even 2.
Yes,
yeah,
2 or 3.
Yeah, he liked 3, but I think he feels like mostly 2. Obviously, Downs is
right.
Going to be. Is he a lot of people for the Giants? All of a sudden, you get a little late action on pick 10 to the Giants.
It's funny. You got to pick which one you want him to go to. So we got some people thinking he's going with their first one. Some people think he's going with their second one. But yes is the answer.
Let's talk about the Eagles at 23. What kind of action you getting there?
So our line has stayed steady that it's going to be an offensive lineman. Right now we've got.
So are they betting that it will be that position or a particular player? Because there's a lot of options.
It's that position. There's so many tackle options, right, that it's tough to say who's going to be available for him there. Right now we have A.J. Brown leaving at 80%, but that hasn't changed the numbers really. Wide receiver is the second most likely position group, followed by defensive line, and then some tight end. People are taking the.
What's the action on Sadiq?
So Sadiq, we have his over-under at 15.5, so shouldn't be there. But for the Eagles to take a tight end, and that obviously would be Sadiq, is plus 800.
Oh, actually, it's funny because Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt, Rick's All Access Football, they had him going 23 to Philadelphia.
Well,
anybody want to put a little money on that one? Is that a long shot?
Yeah, well, he is classified as a tight end, even though personally I think he's just a big wide receiver.
That's true. Yes. But that would be a little long shot for the people out there. You want to throw that in. Yeah. How's this, because obviously Mendoza is obviously going to be number 1, it appears anyway.
Yeah.
But there's not a high-profile quarterback class. Has that changed the complexion of the action here?
It's definitely a different world when you got a bunch of quarterbacks. Now, last year, we thought there would be 3. Turns out nobody wanted Shador. But it was a little similar.
Did you take a lot of rake in on that? Were people betting a lot of him?
We actually did. Yeah, we had people take second overall, third overall, right? So
great.
We had no idea that it was going to be as late as it was. But the fact that we don't have this, stable of tackles, there are the DNs at the top, but there's really only 3. Because it's so many different position types, it seems like there's maybe a lot of opportunity for movement, but ultimately it just means there's a lot of different opinions. And when there's a lot of different opinions, that means a lot of wagering.
Patrick Lose, the sportsbook director, before we let you roll, did you get any action on the Sixers after that win? Did people get excited?
A little bit, but not as much as the Flyers. Flyers are the team that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Are you getting any Eagles futures yet?
We do get a lot of futures bets all throughout the year. But right now it seems like everybody's on the Rams bandwagon.
Really?
I think they're already slotting in whoever they're going to pick, and the Rams are our most popular pick right now for winning it all.
Well, if you guys want to get over here and put something down at the Sportsbook, the Fanatics Sportsbook is right underneath of us. We're upstairs at the balcony bar. Patrick Lose, he's the Sportsbook director. You just got a little insight on everything that's happening draft day, which is tonight, 5 o'clock, Sal Paolantonio live from Jets headquarters. He'll tell us who he thinks the Eagles should take and will likely take. But when we come back, it's football at 4. Andrew DeCecco talks draft with us next.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the NFL Draft Party live here at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast, live at the Balcony Bar. The best place to play for game day, Ocean Casino Resort. The Fanatics Sportsbook Ocean Casino Gallery Bar Booking Games is Ocean's go-to game day destination. Huge screen, great drinks, and the sportsbook action you want. It's the perfect place to catch the draft, the Flyers, the Sixers, and celebrate every play and every win. Big screens, big bets, game day hits different at Ocean. To learn more, visit theoceanac.com. The Inside the Birds podcast and InsideTheBirds.com has all your Eagles draft news, and we're about to get into it right now. Andrew DeCecco. It's Christmas Day for Andrew DeCecco. It is Draft Day 2026. Andrew, what's going on, my man?
Hey, Mike, great to be with you. Yeah, that's right. No more mock drafts, no more projecting, and this prospect's rising, this one's falling. It's all about the here and now and seeing how everything starts to play out.
We are there, yes. It takes a long time, but finally it is Draft Day, and as you said, we'll finally get some answers here. Let's start right off with the big question. Howie Roseman, in your mind, with all the A.J. Brown and an edge rusher. It sounds like, they're looking for an established edge rusher and all this A.J. Brown stuff. Does that set up for an active night tonight for Howie?
It could, but I look at it more through the lens of day two, especially when it pertains to the edge rusher, such as a Jonathan Grenard, perhaps, or maybe one of the Steelers' edge rushers. Alex Highsmith's a player who I've been very high on. I covered him extensively in the pre-draft process a number of years ago. Nick Herbig's a name that's floated around, but I would expect the Eagles, regardless, to be active. Tonight feels to me like it could be a trade-up situation for the Eagles. You look at the offensive tackles, for example, and there's a world, and you don't have to squint to see it, Mike, that you could see a run on offensive tackles. And I look at Monroe Freeling from Georgia. I look at Caden Proctor from Alabama. And all of a sudden, where the Eagles sit at 23, it's not a slam dunk that either player would be available. And they profile as Eagles type of picks in the way that they have room to develop and grow athleticism and what you look for. And I would think that they would be enticing prospects that would warrant a trade-up if the board falls a certain way.
All right, 23. We've been talking about this a lot, but now it's draft day. Do you like that spot to find a player who can play day one?
Yes, but it shouldn't be a determining factor, meaning if you have an opportunity to get a Caden Proctor, I think he can slide inside and play guard for a year, and he's a little bit more of a polished product than, let's say, a Monroe Freeling or a Maxie Hunachore. But I don't think that should be, the be-all, end-all. If you are confident in the player development aspect of the organization, which the Eagles have an extensive track record when it comes to that, and you believe in Chris Cooper, the offensive line coach, that he can mold and develop a young offensive lineman that may not be quite ready just yet, but has the tools to become, a prominent player and a high ceiling type of guy, I think you go that route as well. So it shouldn't always be viewed as you got to find a starter. The draft is about the future, and the Eagles look at it through the lens of what is this player going to be in year 2 and year 3, and how does that project?
All right, there's so many different positions here, so I want to get your take on the guy that you like the best in the positions they need. Let's start at tight end, and if Kenyon Sadiq is there, number one, do you think he'll be there at 23?
No, I don't.
So you don't think he'll be there? Will he be in a spot that you could trade up to get him, and would you do that?
So I look at the Ravens at 14, and they lost Isaiah Likely. They lost Charlie Kohler in free agency. Mark Andrews is a little bit of an older player at this stage. He gets banged up from time to time. They might be a spot that would make some sense for Kenyon Sadiq, which would be higher than he's been widely projected to go. Then you look at the mid-round, or the middle of the first round. You have the Buccaneers at 15. The Lions have Sam Laporta. They're good there. But then the Carolina Panthers at 19 could be in play to give Bryce Young another weapon. So if that scenario unfolds, Mike, and he's available when pick 19 rolls around, that would be a case where I could see the Eagles being aggressive and trying to get their guy who can be an impact player, someone who's an offensive weapon and gives Jalen Hurts another option in the passing game. And we know that Sean Mannion's coming from a background that really utilizes the tight ends. And so that would give them their tight end of the future. But if he's off the board as early as 14, let's say, or maybe even earlier with the Kansas City Chiefs, depending on how they've prioritized that in light of Travis Kelce and how long he's going to be playing for. I mean, he could be off the board well before that even becomes a realistic probability.
Is there another tight end at 23, or is he the only one?
No, he would be the only one. He's the only player that I have a first-round grade on.
Okay. We're going off of Adam Kaplan's list from our Tuesday Football at 4 of a successful draft. So let's go. He says finding a right tackle of the future. Is that player there at 23?
Yes, and to highlight a couple of players, if they stand pat at 23, Blake Miller from Clemson is a really polished product. He's solid. You know that he's going to be a steady and consistent pro. Maybe he doesn't have the upside of some of those other guys. But then I look at Maxie Hunachor from Arizona State. A little bit more of a project, hasn't been playing football all that long. But when you look at the traits, the athleticism, the power, the movement ability, and you project that over a career, knowing that the Eagles don't necessarily look for a double or trying to get a triple, they look for that home run. That would be a player that would make a lot of sense and really reflect how the team views guys with higher ceilings. So those are two players right there. Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver out of Indiana, I think goes a little higher. And, if they were to hold at 23, I think those two guys would be in play.
Okay, let's go to a edge rusher. I know your latest article over at InsideTheBirds.com looks at the most likely first-round edge. That is a spot where they surely, I think we all agree, right? In fact, I think the Eagles are, they told us last year they entered with Smith and Hunt, and then they went out and got Zadarius Smith. Then they traded for Jalen Phillips. So it sounds like they don't think they have enough. So 23 edge.
Yeah, I don't believe that they do have enough there, Mike. They still need that headliner. Now, is it fair to expect that a first-round edge rusher can fulfill that role? Maybe not in year one, but you're projecting out towards the future. The player who would make some sense for the Eagles is Keldrick Falk from Auburn, but I'm not exactly sure if he would be there at 23, but that may only require a slight trade-up. When I look at the Dallas Cowboys at 20, and knowing that edge rusher is such a priority for them, and they're trying to give Christian Parker some pieces to work with and fortify that side of the ball, that would make a lot of sense there. But, yeah, I mean, Keldrick Falk, when you look at what he can provide, Mike, 6'6", 276 pounds, he's 21 years old. Yes, the sack production hasn't been there. 10 sacks over 32 starts at Auburn. So that certainly is going to cause some apprehension, as well as schematic fit. Knowing that he has, he weighs 276, how is he more of a 4-3 defensive end? How does he project in the 3-4? Can he drop into coverage if you need him to? But I think in this case, you would bank on the upside and know that he can rush from inside. He can move all around formations, and maybe down the road he becomes that headliner that we just talked about.
All right, we're talking with Andrew DeCecco, Football at 4. These are some of the areas the Eagles need, and Andrew's given us some of his favorite guys at those positions at 23. I got to find it hard to believe at 23 there's a safety there. I think we think they need a safety, but it's going to be probably a second or third round, maybe later, to find that spot.
Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo is a player that I don't think that they would be a reach if he comes off the board 23, 24, 25, or shortly thereafter, because he has qualities that I think are going to endear himself to an NFL defensive coordinator when it comes to taking the football away. High-level football IQ, the length and speed. He can cover a lot of ground. And aside from that, I really don't see another safety who would make sense. A name to keep an eye on who I think could enter the late first-round conversation, perhaps, or go high in the second round would be Traden Stukes from Arizona. He's a nickelback. I think he projects more as a safety, but his stock has risen pretty steadily throughout the process, especially late here. But as far as being able to fit at 23, it would always be Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, in my estimation.
Good stuff from Andrew here, giving you some names to watch when the Eagles are on the board at number 23. What do you think about corner? Obviously, they've got Quinyon, they've got Cooper, they signed Woolen, so it sounds like they have a starting secondary for this season, but do they need to find maybe that guy for the future?
Yeah, they're set for this year, but when you look with the long-term view in mind, they need to add another piece to complement Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean instead of having that revolving door at corner of Dory Jackson, Reek Woolen. And so at 23, I believe that someone like Chris Johnson from San Diego State, who I interviewed on the Checo Daily for Inside the Birds, high character. He did very well at the Senior Bowl at the NFL Scouting Combine. He's a really clean prospect, and to me, when I watch the way that he plays and being able to play man or zone pretty comfortably, reads the eyes of quarterbacks, a savvy football player, that to me suggests that he could be a plug-and-play option for someone like Vic Fangio.
All right, good stuff here. Obviously, we're looking at right tackles for the future because we think Lane is done. But what about some interior stuff? Is that an area? Do you draft a guard at 23? If that's, obviously, if it's best player available, you go that route. But is there a guy interior that could be in play here?
Well, Vega Ione from Penn State is the head of the class here. But again, I look at the Ravens at 14. That could be in play, but I think he's more of a top half of the first round kind of player. But I think that he has all pro upside. Should he slip down the board, that's a trade up candidate for certain if I'm the Eagles. But beyond that, Mike, you could convert a Caden Proctor to guard year one. You could ask Maxi Hanachor to play guard in year one, though he does need a little bit more refinement to his game. But then if you trade down, let's say, in the first round, Chase Stonis from Texas A&M, that's a player that the Eagles reportedly hosted on a 30 visit. I love the way that he plays, tenacious, nasty player that would really fit well with the expected schematic changes up front under Sean Mannion. Then you have some guys that I think, whether it's Keelan Rutledge in the second round or maybe a Caleb Tiernan from Northwestern, who's a tackle by trade, 6'8", but he only has 32 and some odd inch arms, which to me suggests that a move inside could be imminent. So yes, there are some names, but I think at 23, that's kind of no man's land as far as guards go.
All right, Andrew, let's take a look at some of the stuff in front of Philadelphia real quick back on the Eagles in terms of wide receiver. We didn't really get our hands dirty much on there. We know the A.J. Brown stuff. It sounds like it's imminent that he will be dealt after this draft. So, at 23, is there enough talent at 23 that you would say they would take a receiver and replenish that spot, or do they think they have enough there with what they've done this offseason?
Well, I don't believe that they have enough there currently, although it is worth pointing out that what we're expecting to see from Sean Mannion, given his prior influences, is an offense that spreads the football around. So if you add another tight end, let's say an Eli Stowers in round 2, you couple that with Dallas Goedert and the receivers that you have in place, that in theory could be enough to offset the loss of an A.J. Brown. Depends on how you look at it. But if you're asking me, which you are, I don't believe that they have enough there at wide receiver. Do I think that there's one worth taking at 23? Omar Cooper Jr. would be my guy, but I think that he goes a little earlier. Then you have Denzel Boston. I'm not overly enthused with the player. I have questions about his long-term viability, being that difference maker. And I liked a lot of the talent in the second round. Mike Chris Bell, the wide receiver from Louisville, could be in play at 54. Would be a really good fit for the Eagles. Reminds me a lot of A.J. Brown in body type, skill set, and run after the catch ability, sort of a bully when it comes to imposing his will on defensive backs. Jeremy Bernard from Alabama is another player who I like, could slot in around that range. Then you go a little bit beyond that. You have Ted Hurst, you have Antonio Williams. That would be pretty good fits for the Eagles as well. And I think they could be early impact type of guys that you work in a rotation of players.
All right, man. I know that quarterback Jalen Hurts, most people understand, is firmly in here. But would you be shocked if they took a quarterback? Not at 23. That would be shocking. But they did take Jalen in the second round a couple of years ago, and that shocked people, and that started basically the era that we're in right now. They took him. That put the pressure on Wentz, and here we are, 54, two third-round picks. I know that's fodder for maybe tomorrow, but is quarterback something and by the way, could tonight a Tanner McKee trade be in play? What's your take on the quarterback position?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles take a quarterback, but where the Eagles take a quarterback, well, that's a different conversation. So I look at it, it would be reasonable to expect anywhere from pick 98 in the third round or 114, right around that range, to take a quarterback. You would be getting a cost-controlled option. It's not a dart throw like Kyle McCord was, or a Clayton Thorson some years past. Wherever you take a player in that area of the draft, they're going to be a part of your team. So you have to feel pretty convinced that they're going to project as a high-end backup or maybe an asset down the road. But I think Garrett Nussmeier from LSU would be a really good fit at either like 98 or 114. And you look at his play from last season, it tailed off a little bit, but there's a reason for that. He was playing through something that was revealed a couple of days ago. And I think because of that, that could knock him a little bit further down draft boards than he wouldn't ordinarily have been, and that could provide some pretty good value there.
All right, obviously, we have no idea what Howie's going to do. He's always active. He's always looking. Last one I want to get for you real quick. Would you give up 54 for Gennard?
Yes, I would, because I'm not – unless you – and you have no way of being certain, but the likelihood of pick 54 giving you the same kind of production that a Jonathan Gennard would, certainly this season. Yeah, I mean, I think you take the swing and you get the established player. That's really what that room needs right now. And then you could add another young player to balance things out and give you another building block at that position. But they sorely need a headliner that can absorb a lot of snaps. They're a known commodity, and they're going to command attention from the offensive line and take away some attention from the Jalix Hunts and Nolan Smiths of the world.
All right, good stuff. Andrew DeCecco, great work on the draft this year. Always good to catch up with you on that. Ultimately, your crystal ball for the Philadelphia Eagles tonight. Do they stay at 23? If they do, who do they take, or do you have some other scenario in your head?
I'll say they trade up a little bit and take Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle from Georgia.
All right, there you go. Keep that in mind when you're watching the draft tonight. And don't forget all of Andrew's draft coverage at InsideTheBirds.com. And, of course, Football at 4. We'll be recapping it all right here on the Sports Bash. Andrew, Merry Christmas, man. Enjoy the draft.
Thanks, Mike. Talk soon, man.
Andrew, great on the draft as always this year, and we appreciate him as always jumping on board. We are live at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, the Fanatics Sportsbook. Big screens, big bets. Game day hits different at Ocean. To learn more, visit theoceanac.com. Don't forget to check out all the live entertainment, including comedian Tony Hinchcliffe on Friday, Bobby Lee on Saturday, May 2nd, Matt Rife, July 24th and 25th, Joey Diaz, August the 7th, and Sebastian Maniscalco, September 17th through the 20th and 24th through the 27th. We're jam-packed today. Good stuff from him. Who does Sal Pal think the Eagles will take? We will talk to Sal Paolantonio at 5 o'clock right here on the Sports Bash.
It's Flyers Penguin Game 4 on 97.3 ESPN. The Flyers take on the Pittsburgh Penguins Saturday night. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedoruk call all the Flyers playoff action.
Martone spins into the right wing circle, looks at the net with a shot, he scores! Oh, Porter Martone!
It's Flyers Pens Game 4 Saturday night. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. on South Jersey's home for Flyers playoff hockey. 97.3 ESPN. And listen live on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Big color, bigger savings. Sherwin-Williams Super Sale is here. Get 40% off paints and stains April 24th through the 27th with prices stretching your interior or exterior. We've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but
he talks to me.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash Live. Little DeCecco. He says trade up for an offensive lineman. That's what he sees happening. We're going to, poll the crowd a little bit later. Nuggets, we got the Knicks Nuggets segment coming up. Maybe a slice of Pete's Pizza. And if Josh is playing along, maybe Josh's jerky for our draft coverage today. Live at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We're giving away a great pair of tickets today, club box seats for a game at the Link this year. Also, overnight stay to Ocean Casino Resort. Got concert tickets, comedy shows. You heard all the lineup of different shows that are coming to town here. Tony Hinchcliffe tomorrow, Bobby Lee on May 2nd, Matt Rife July 24th and 25th, Joey Diaz on August the 7th, and Sebastian Maniscalco has a bunch of dates. You can check that all out at theoceanac.com. All right, let's get into today's edition of Knicks Nuggets on the Sports Bash.
Oh, Mr. Mike Gill. We got PG alongside us here at the Balcony Bar. And guess what? I was going to start with my normal Nuggets, but I learned about a slice of pizza during the break. Okay? And I'm going to start with my Pete's Pizza. You know why? The Phillies need to win today. Because PG got all emotional about the Phillies just a little while ago. You know, he placed a bet today.
6-5 now, by the way.
I know. This is where I'm going with it.
Yep.
It's a competitive game. It's a close game. Only a couple more innings left. I believe it's, in the 7th as of right now?
2 outs in the 8th.
Yeah, heading into the 8th. So, listen, PG placed a bet on the Phillies to win today because he believed there would be a little juice after they released Taijuan Walker.
Sanchez on the mound. They cut Walker. They need a win bad.
$30.
$30.
You threw one down?
I did.
Threw it down. He was so ready to go, thinking the Phillies were going to bounce back today. That kind of somewhat semi has been the case. But when they were down earlier in the game, it looked like they were pretty much out of it, he cashed out at $2 already.
I crashed out and cashed out.
You did. You crashed out, cashed out, and got all emotional, and now look at you. They might come back and win. So the Phillies must win today. Mike, what do they got to do to just find a way to continue to string together some wins?
Well, it doesn't help that Christopher Sanchez didn't pitch well. You got Grace on the mound. And by the way, the Phillies offense did score 5 runs today. So Christopher Sanchez let them down today. I know their offense has been dog manure, but the fact of the matter is this. They scored 5 runs, and Sanchez, your ace, didn't pitch well. So sometimes you look at it and say, oh, the Phillies pitching has let them down this year. That has been part of this too. Their pitching staff, and I got into this conversation with Josh the other day. You know, he was talking about I said the money is invested in the pitching staff. You figure they just released Taijuan Walker. By the way, the Phils have tied it up.
They tied it.
That's what you get, Pete. That's what you get.
I hope they win, and you are saying, oh, man.
You can't cash out.
It was an emotional reaction to a 6-2 ball.
There you go. Fightins. Top of the 8th. Well, Amundo Sosa tied the ball game up 6-6. That's what you get, PG. All right? You can't just cash out $2.
It was an emotional reaction of protest of a team being down 6-2 on their way to a 9-game losing streak.
Well, I'll tell you what. If they come back and win this game, is anybody going to start to think that things are turning around?
No.
No.
Not one bit. But it would be nice to, that they're showing a little fight today. Coming back, they were down earlier. I mean, the whole Taijuan Walker thing earlier today. They've been, the worst team in baseball, essentially, to start the year. And then PG's, he's pulling his bets out early. So it'd be nice to see them come back and win today. Just, you got to string together some wins here, Mike.
Well, guess what? I blame Sanchez today.
It was
the
bad.
Offense scored 6 runs, and your ace pitcher, when you need a stopper,
let you down.
And we talked about this. Sanchez, big contract. Lazardo, massive contract, $27 million. Nola, big contract. Taijuan Walker, he had a cut, $18 million in the garbage can. I mean, come on. The pitching needs – they got 6 runs today. That pitching staff needs to come through.
I mean, this is unbelievable. You look at some of the contracts.
Wheeler starts on, Saturday?
Yeah.
He has not looked all that the same, I should say.
They go right to Atlanta after today. They go start a series in Atlanta tomorrow. And
His
then
velo has been down.
Yep.
He's gotten hit around a little bit in the minor leagues with his rehab starts.
Yep.
Yep.
So if you look at some of the salaries, Taijuan Walker, $18 million this year. Nick Castellanos, $20 million this year.
$32 million in the garbage.
Oh, I mean, that's just – that was $38 million. $38 million. That's nearly $40 million down the tubes that the Phillies have wasted this year.
Oh,
and you could have went and got like a Boba Shett.
You're talking about 20 and 18
Yeah.
at $38 million that they're paying for guys not to even play.
Yeah, that's what the Philadelphia Phillies think of you.
Well, here's a nugget for you guys. I tweeted this out before. I'm going to start to point the finger at Middleton. Because to me, this is a Dombrowski problem. The problem with this is Dombrowski has had a state of his career where you can't fire a guy like that, right? He is too much gravitas as
Cachet.
yeah, I mean, he's not the kind of guy that you're like, hey, man, you're fired. Like, you don't fire Dave Dombrowski. He's a Hall of Fame level guy. He's had a great accomplishments. But Middleton, now you are enabling all this.
Yep.
So you either tell him to step aside, say you're retiring or you got to move out or, something. Because allowing Dombrowski to continue to run this thing is not going to be very popular.
Well, do we remember back in the offseason, it might have been Preston Mattingly, was on a podcast.
Well, is he the GM in waiting?
Well,
I would have to imagine, right?
Got the whole family's a part of this crew now, But remember what he talked about, that the Phillies, they have an organizational philosophy as to how they approach free agents. Do we remember this, Mike?
Yeah.
And that they don't do years where there's going to be
opt-out years,
the opt-out
right?
years.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you. No opt-out years. That's not how we approach signing contracts with guys for long-term deals. So this is an organizational issue, and you're seeing the ramifications of it all come to fruition with older guys now in the lineup, and the way things have started this year.
And that's why I think they need a change in organizational philosophy, because Dave Dombrowski has his way that he's been doing it for years and years and years, and he's won. But the game has changed a lot.
Evolved.
And I'm not sitting here saying Dave Dombrowski is an overrated. Like, Jerry Colangelo, to me, he was an overrated stiff. He never won skedaddle. He won USA basketball, and people act like the United States winning in basketball in the 90s was a big deal. Colangelo, fraud and a half. Dombrowski has won Florida, Boston. He got a down rotten Detroit team to the World Series.
Yep.
So he does have accomplishments in his background. And that's why I'm saying he's accomplished enough to where you don't just say you're fired. But you can say, hey,
Give him
Dave.
the Pat Gillick role.
Yeah, so will
upstairs.
Matt Klentak turn
Andy
into –
McPhail, what happened to him?
Will Matt Klentak turn into the Ed Wade of this era?
Somebody brought that up the other day, is that Klentak – and by the way, like Dombrowski, who we're all ripping right now, 5 years from now, he never traded Aiden Miller, he never traded Crawford, and he never traded Painter. So you better hope that those guys hatch into reasons why you're good 3 to 5 years from now. Because right now – it looks like this team is in trouble 3 to 5 years from now with Harper's contract, Turner's contract, Nola's contract, Real Muto's contract. So he's got himself invested into a lot of old contracts, but he better hope that Crawford, Miller, and Painter perform.
They have to perform because they don't really have a lot of young guys that you would get excited about other than those
Now,
three.
mind you, as Josh just texted me, Dombrowski won World Series 20 years apart.
Yep.
So he did kind of like, hey, we won this way in 97 with the Marlins. Then again, kind of evolved with the Red Sox. I would say, though, one thing that and the game has changed a lot. It's much more draft-oriented, building organizations. And I think one area where this team in the long term is really struggled with is their farm system. They really don't have young guys that they've developed. Stott and Bohm have not developed the way they wanted to. And Aiden Miller's hurt. Crawford's up here right now. Painter's up here right now. But other than Painter, they really don't have another pitching prospect that you're all that excited about.
And it was a decade before they really developed anybody with even close to the level of Bohm or Stott. They had nobody even close to those guys. So the farm system's been a problem for years and years. And we'll see how it shakes out the rest of the way. Maybe 6-6 today. in the bottom of the 8th inning? Could they come away with a victory?
Now, Brad Keller's in the game right now. What does that say?
Oh, so is Dylan Moore.
Moore's in left field.
He's not on the. Dylan Moore's not pitching, by the way. He's in left field.
And Brad Keller
Is that a home
just
run?
gave up a tater.
There you go. 7-6.
So all the excitement that we just had for 5 minutes just went out the window.
Maybe the $2 was
There's
worth it.
my cash out right there.
There's your cash out. All right, we just talked a lot about a farm system.
By the way, Keller, who they said was going to be the guy who would be closing games with Duran out,
The IL, yeah.
they brought him here in the 8th inning.
Ugh, not good.
Well, their bullpen's taxed. Their bullpen. And by the way, Dombrowski paid him $22 million. 2 years, $22 million for a bullpen arm.
Yep.
And I don't think the ROI is there.
Not there so far here in April. All right, moving along.
By the way,
yeah, go
before
ahead,
we get to nugget number 2, I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for a nugget from earlier today. I asked PG one
I got it for
thing.
you. Breeze Airways.
What is the price of a flight to Raleigh, North Carolina?
Well,
Pete?
ACY does not fly to Raleigh this month or next month.
So they haven't started that flight yet.
Nope, not till June.
Oh, man.
Maybe they
Missed
expedite
opportunity.
it.
Maybe they expedite that.
yeah.
Breeze
Why
Air.
can't we take the Sports Bash on a road trip? Rent a van and just drive
little
down
Sports
to Raleigh.
Bash roadie?
It's not that far to Raleigh on the road.
What's that drive?
Probably 10 hours.
I've done a Boston drive. It was like 6, 7. There you
So
go.
they don't start until June. Wow.
All right, well,
That's a bummer.
You believe that's a deal breaker?
I mean, it's going to be tough to drive.
who's driving? That's the question. Who's gonna?
I'm good for a few hours.
You driving? All right, I'll take the other 3. What is it? 3 hours, 6 hours, whatever it is. All right, moving along. Nugget number 2. We talked a lot about a farm system. A team that's developed farm systems, the Flyers, and they just took a 3-0 lead against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And yesterday's game against Pittsburgh felt like the old school Pittsburgh Penguin rivalry, right? I mean, you got guys trying to fit in the box, like 5-6 guys sitting in the penalty box.
Hartsy's in the booth calling the game apropos.
It was
right?
unbelievable. And
By the way,
Fridgie
it's
was
a
freaking out.
7-hour drive.
Oh, so-
Now
okay.
you've changed my mind a little bit.
right.
And Promotions Jen just texted in.
Wow.
Maybe we'll get an RV deal to sponsor that. How
There
about
we
that?
go.
Do the show live from the RV.
Oh, that would be unreal. Unreal little fly guy action.
Well,
down
if
to
you
Raleigh.
remember, a couple of years ago, we had the Birds pregame when Tony Bruno hosted the show.
Wow.
They drove down to Washington and did the pregame show live on the bus.
Oh,
That's great.
We do the show from the RV driving down to Raleigh.
who the hell wants to sponsor this? Seriously, let us know.
Promotions Jen's on it.
Get on that, because that is awesome.
Fran would be all over, but she's not paying any attention.
All right. What was I talking about? I'm excited.
Flyers.
Now
Nugget
I'm
number
getting
2.
excited.
Fly guys.
I'm getting excited now.
Nugget
Now we get an
number
RV. We're going to go on the road, take the bash on the road. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled.
I'm putting bumper stickers all over that thing.
Get the locker room. You know,
Yeah.
he'll put his stickers everywhere.
By the way, our guy Rocco from Key Acura, he just chimed in. He says, "Yo, you can always take a Key Acura down to
right.
Raleigh on the way down there. You
I'm
can get
down
a
with
Key
that.
Acura right now for $1.99 a month for 36 months." Rocco, you're in, buddy. You can even drive in the RV with us or the Acura. We'll just take the Acura down there. Now, taking an Acura to Raleigh for 7 hours, that's a nice drive.
That's much better
I've
than
driven
Ottawa.
that
Yes, you
Key
did.
Acura before. I didn't want to give it back. I didn't want to give that bad boy back.
That's much better than Ottawa, to say the least. Going down to Raleigh.
How far is it to get to Ottawa?
Oh, driving?
You didn't even do the extra research over there, Pete.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at Buffalo as well in the conference finals. That could be a possibility.
All right, well,
Go through some tables. Bring
Buffalo
a table
and
with
who?
us.
Tampa?
I could see Pete jumping through a table.
I would do it. That's got you written all over it.
Oh, I'd 100% do it. You know I would. All right. Nugget number 2, back to the Flyers. All right, did you guys hear what head coach Dan Muse said after the game yesterday? I mean, it's just typical Penguins babble, whatever you want to call it. So he talked about the Sid the Kid embellishment penalty yesterday. He said, quote, "We don't have a single embellishment all year. Sidney Crosby doesn't have an embellishment in 21 seasons. So sticks in his face. They take both of them. So I disagree on that strongly. Not one for our team all season. And so we didn't come into this series to start now. Our guys have done a good job with that, and Sid doesn't embellish. So End quote, close quote. Dan Muse, coach of the Penguins last night. What do you make of those comments?
I mean, listen, I can't believe that Crosby hasn't had an embellishment his entire career. That's what was surprising to me. But that being the case, if he's never got one his whole career, I find it hard to give him one in that moment last night.
Isn't that rule in place because of guys like Sidney Crosby embellishing?
That to me, though, sounds like such a subjective call.
Sure.
Who is acknowledging that you're embellishing what? How
You're
do you
flopping.
know what I'm embellishing? If somebody kicked me in the you-know-what, it might hurt me a little bit more than somebody else, you're going to tell me you're embellishing how much pain you're in.
Well, he did.
It was an accident.
The
I mean, he
acting
wasn't trying
that Crosby
to hit him.
did, he was on the ice
Yeah.
in pain, acting like, he got ran over by a truck, as opposed to just a little love tap. I mean, that was a love tap from
Yeah, and
halfway.
he's got the visor there. Like,
He's got the
come
visor.
Listen, I don't know how anybody determines embellishing versus. I can say we all would say, yeah, he looked like he was faking it.
He was embellishing. I mean, he was embellishing.
If they had if they had that foul call in the NBA, people would be fouled out.
Maybe they should add it to the NBA. Maybe people would stop embellishing.
By the way, the drive to Ottawa is 8 hours. 8 to the Canadian Tire Center. It's an 8-hour drive. That's the name of the arena.
Sports Bash International.
The Tire Center.
That's what it's called. And in
has the Sports Bash ever gone international?
International?
Not you. I know you.
No,
You're
I'm
Mr.
saying
World
the
Traveler.
Show.
I know.
No, we haven't done the show. Well, yeah, I mean, we've been at the not international. We've been in other states.
Yeah, other states. I'm just saying.
Now, the Flyers, for the people who remember out there years ago, in fact, Rank was doing the show with me. We used to do the show from the block party.
Oh, there you go.
We did the show from the block party many times.
I would love to go to Raleigh. If we get an RV, that would be outstanding. It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right.
I know Rocco from Key Acura, he just texted me, LFG, let's go, as if he was Joel Embiid. He's ready to go, baby.
Game-tying home run.
Who does hit that?
Garcia.
Oh, Garcia. Actually.
Wow.
Is that a pinch hit?
Who did he hit for?
It's his third
Maybe
of the year.
Reyes?
Might have been Reyes. Let me check.
Well, Reyes was out of the game, wasn't he?
Let me see.
Dylan Moore was playing left field.
That's crazy.
So we were so locked in on going to Raleigh or Ottawa.
He hit for Stubbs.
Okay. Stubbs.
Look at Topper pushing
some all the
strings,
buttons.
man.
Pushing the right buttons. Keeping his job.
Tying the game in the ninth.
Man, Adolis Garcia.
That $2 is you're sweating over there.
I know. I got to see what the money line is now.
All right, what else you got?
All right. Nugget number, what is this, 3, 4? I don't even know where
This is the third number.
All right, so we'll stay on the Flyers. Tick Pick continues to send out some of these interesting nuggets regarding how much the getting cost for the game is. You want to know what Game 4 is as of right now, guys?
For the Flyers, I thought it was like $550.
You are right there. Game 4, the Penguins at Flyers, is the most expensive Flyers home game on record with a get-in price of $525.
How about that?
And it's only going to go up in the next round, right? I mean, those tickets for the next round, assuming they don't blow a 3-game lead.
If they made it to a Stanley Cup final, you're going to be paying $3,000 for a ticket.
Ungodly amounts.
Now, what's a Sixer ticket for Friday night? Where are we at there?
I got to do the research on that one.
Yeah.
Because
it was that yesterday.
It was like $1 something.
It was 50 something after game 1.
Yeah, and then it went up to like $1.30.
It was like 150 or something yesterday. I'm interested to see if people are starting to buy them.
Looks like it's hanging around 102 right now.
Well, that dropped.
Yeah, 102 is what I'm seeing.
Again, for the bleeds.
It's for the bleeds, for the cheap seats.
That's
for
all.
the cheap seats.
When you go and do the ticket get-in prices, you're looking at the bleeds.
Yep.
Rafters Ray.
Yeah.
Cheap seats Pete.
Nosebleeds.
And those bleeds at the Xfinity Mobile, they are up there. I mean,
I don't know.
You're only a courtside guy.
Actually, I take that back.
He could have came with us. Remember, we were at the first game of the year at the cheap seats.
One time I sat in those balcony suites.
Right.
You ever been in one of those?
Well, the press box is kind of up that high too.
Right, but they have those balcony suites.
I've been up there.
That are good for hockey, not for basketball.
Yeah.
But I did the changeover.
Oh.
So I went to the Flyers game during the day, and then I stayed for the Sixers game at night. But I was up in that like rafters suite, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's way up there. It's a balcony suite.
Right.
Like we're at the balcony bar. We're overlooking the sports book and the casino.
Yep.
This is a great spot, by the way.
Awesome up here.
I'll tell you what. Like, I've never really been up here. I walked up here like one time just to like look around, but I never kind of walked around. This place is much bigger than like I thought.
It's awesome. I mean, they got couches. They got
you know what's
this
funny?
comfy seat. The chairs we're sitting in are
The bar is pretty much every seat's taken.
I don't
so
think
far.
there's one spot.
No, but I didn't realize that there were seats in the front here.
Yeah.
And there's all couches, and they overlook everything. So you can see we got the games on. You can literally see every single TV from up here. It's phenomenal.
You can see the sportsbook TVs. You got the TVs up here at the balcony bar. They got the Phillies. They got the draft coverage. They got different games on. You got us yapping over here. It's fantastic.
What are we even talking about?
I don't even know. It's been all over the place, this Nuggets.
We got Sal Pal, by the way, coming up in 13 minutes.
Can't wait for that.
You got a slice of pizza?
I do.
Oh, wow. We got a slice over there, huh?
We got to talk about this.
It's a pizza. It's a
story
pizza pick right
that
here.
He could not. Had to do it.
It continues to just have oxygen, and it's the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini story.
I got a prediction on that.
6 years ago, we have new photos taken 6 years ago from a bar in New York
And
City.
they weren't just interlocking hands, I'll tell you that.
They were
They're interlocking lips.
Intimate, yes, at a bar by themselves at like midnight.
You know the picture is the picture that of all pictures that's the bring you down one.
Vrabel
when
looks like
she has
been lubricated up, by the way.
Well, it's the picture of when you're sitting down and your knee is between the legs.
Vrabel has his legs between.
Right. She has her
leg
behind between his and vice versa.
Now,
that is the international sign of something more is happening here.
Vrabel was married at the time. Rossini was engaged at the time. This happened, of course, a few days before COVID. So, again, more photos coming out. Vrabel, of course, is going to be in counseling on
missing day 3 of the draft.
Day 3 of the draft.
They
He
have
is
8
missing.
picks, by the way.
Now, let me ask a question. Listen, I'm not trying to make light of this situation. He's getting counseling. You know, he probably told his wife or whatever. But that was the only day available, day 3 of the draft? Or was it like her saying, if you don't get this done and you choose the draft over our marriage, we're done.
I also think they were trying to get ahead of this because this came out yesterday about him being out for day 3, and then this story dropped later following the announcement of him going for the counseling.
Or it's New England, the Patriots, making sure
They're trying to get ahead of
it. Right, we're taking this seriously. He's going to miss the draft.
Well, I'll tell you what, this news came out before these pictures.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if this – at first you didn't think he was going to be in any sort of trouble because, like, she's the reporter. She's the one that they're basically suggesting did unethical things to get information.
He's protected by his team in the NFL.
Well, and I think the NFL wanted this story to kind of go away.
Yeah.
My question is, who's been holding on to these pictures for 6 years?
6 years. Who sold them after 6 years is my question.
And the article said that the bar was empty. Where was this guy?
Yeah.
Who took the pictures?
They had no idea.
I mean, he's got it.
I mean,
Locking lips. You are right.
PG. With a juicy slice of pizza over there. I mean, jeez.
And you said it during the break. I mean, is Vrabel in serious jeopardy of?
Well, remember, he didn't originally do his first press conference for the draft. They postponed it. He had the whole word salad kind of discussion during his press conference that he finally had. And now this story comes out a day after the counseling stuff came out for day 3 of the draft. So they looked like they were trying to get ahead of it. They knew this was coming out, part 2 of this saga. I mean, you can't scroll anywhere on X, Instagram, wherever without this story being on there. It's not going away. It's unfortunate.
I would imagine if these pictures came from 6 years ago, somebody's holding on to more. And it's almost like they're extorting them now.
Yeah.
Like, until you come out and admit it, I'm going to keep leaking these pictures out. And it's going to get worse and worse for you. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah. And, I mean, not to compare it to a situation like Tiger Woods, but first it was one woman and you thought nothing of it, but then it just continued to snowball.
Listen, it's a bizarre situation in that these pictures have been held for 6 years.
Yeah. Because this would have been
like, are you waiting for the right time to be like, I'm holding on to these until when? Like, when did you, like, I'll get you to. I'm going to get you to.
Yeah, and the fact that these were put out after that story came out.
Well, she wasn't even married yet.
She was engaged. She was engaged.
Right, she was engaged. She got married shortly after this.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this story just continues to get even more bizarre and crazy as the days roll along.
All right. Josh, got any jerky?
We have pizza, we have nuggets, any jerky, maybe.
Yeah, I'll squeeze in one real quick. We don't have a lot of time, but what do you guys think about this whole Ruben Bain situation? I don't know if you guys have heard, but basically there's teams that started taking him off their draft board because his arms were too short.
Yeah, we were talking about that with the sportsbook director about the bets. He said that he was, at one point, some people thought he could have been the number 2 pick in the draft, and Rick Saratella brought it up earlier, is that he's fallen down because
and
he
he
has short
has
arms.
Not because of the car crash and that whole situation.
Who knows? I mean, these draft things, your arms are too short. I mean, that is a thing, but
He could be wearing masks like a few years back.
Could he be an Eagle?
Gas masks.
if he falls 23,
It's
the
Howie
Eagles
season
take him.
tonight, man. This is Howie Roseman season.
There's the great Johnny G.
Hey, Johnny G.
7-7 Phils and Cubs. We're live at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We got a great little crowd scooping up here. We got to get a little Eagles going here. We got the Birds tonight. I got a bunch of text messages on the White Horse RV text board. 7-7 Phils in the 8th. Is it the 8th or 9th?
It is
It's
the ninth.
Bottom of the 9th. Top of the 9th, excuse me, for the Phils. 7-7. We'll keep you posted. When we come back, Sal Paolantonio joins me on the Sports Bash.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him! It's a sack!
Sixers.
Oh, baby!
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
At 5 o'clock hour, the Sports Bash live at the Balcony Bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Phils, by the way, have tied it up 7-7. We're ready to go. And right now, Johnny G's in attendance, by the way, sitting right in front of me with a Jalen Hurts jersey purchased, he tells me, allegedly by one Sal Paolantonio, who joins me right now on the Sports Bash Live. And there's the Eagles chant behind us. People are fired up and they're ready to go. Sal, how are you, man?
Oh, Mike Gill, it's so good to join you. I'm at the Jets facility. They put me in a little private office here in the media facility for the Jets so that I could talk to you about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I saw the rundown for you today to be able to jump on with us. The Eagles, obviously 23. We got a huge crowd. You just heard the Eagles chant. People are jacked up and ready to go. They're at number 23. I heard you the other day right here on Unsportsmanlike, and you said Kenyon Sadiq. That name popped right out of your mouth, and it had my eyes kind of open wide in the possibility that A.J. Brown is not here. Is that the guy that you like to replace him?
I do, Mike. I think he is a big, strong matchup nightmare at the tight end position, and he's fast, super fast, 4.39 speed, fastest of any tight end in the last 20 years at the National Combine in Indianapolis. I think he would be perfect. He patrols and controls the middle of the field. You know, Sean Mannion coming out of that offense in Green Bay, the Green Bay permutation of the Sean McVay offense, and Sean McVay has used multiple tight ends now in the last 2 years, 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets. You saw that in Green Bay. And I think he has enough speed and he has enough playmaking ability that you could split him out as a wide receiver. So he could easily replace A.J. Brown and then down the road, Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, they need a future tight end too, right? But and it's funny you mentioned that because when you said that, we played that bite as our unsportsmanlike moment of the day, and it kind of made me think about Tyler Kraft, you know, because people forget he got hurt last year, and that kind of really crippled the Green Bay offense. And then I thought back to when he was in that offense, thinking about the tight end in this Eagles offense. Goddard, and if they got a guy like Sadiq, man, that could really be a big coup for Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch that would really mitigate the loss of A.J. Brown. And listen, I like Daytovian Wicks. Certainly Hollywood Downtown Brown, or whatever they're calling him these days. He's got some speed. But, you know, A.J. Brown is a number 1 wide receiver. And it's going to be hard to replace him. So they've got to find a playmaker, a difference maker, a guy who's a matchup problem. I believe that in the first round, you're either creating matchup problems or you're solving matchup problems. That's why I've been involved with the matchup show. As Ron Jaworski very famously told me, favorable matchups are what are the difference in winning and losing in the National Football League. And they've got to get bigger, stronger, and faster on offense. And in the Sean Mannion's offense, he puts a premium on the tight end position. And they had Kenyon Sadiq as one of their 30-player visits in South Philadelphia. So he met with Howie Roseman. He met with Nick Sirianni. He met with the new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. So he fits the bill. But I also am told that they are very interested in finding some long-term replacement for Lane Johnson at the right tackle position. And one guy they've done a lot of work on is Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. should be no surprise, Michael, because that, as you know, you're a bigger college football guy than I am. That Athens to Philadelphia shuttle has been wearing itself out the last 4 years. 6 guys from Georgia have been taken by Howie Roseman to great impact on this football team.
And for what it's worth, Andrew DeCecco from Inside the Birds was on with us earlier. That is exactly who he picked that the Eagles will take with pick number 23. You know Howie. You know him well. And you know that
Hold on a second, Michael. I don't know if he's going to be there at 23. That's a guy that they may have to move up and get. But I'm with it.
They would trade up to take
Yes.
Freeling. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he predicted that they would trade up to take Freeling at 23. But you know Howie well. This is a night that he loves. And how has he improved in this draft? Because you and I would talk a lot about you got to get out of the Pac-12. What happened that Howie started to get the draft?
Oh, he's a big fan of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill. There's no question about it.
Yeah, Howie's listening to Sal Pal tell him to get out of the Big 12, and
you
he
know,
started
he
to
did.
go SEC.
And
Yes.
guess what? They won some Super Bowls.
They did, and they've done it behind a lot of Georgia guys here. Is there Sadiq, you like him. Do you have to trade up to get him?
I don't know if you do, but you certainly probably have to trade up to get Monroe Freely. Now, I'm with the Jets, and I was told by multiple sources yesterday and today that the Jets have had a lot of conversations about moving out of the 16 pick. This pick is up for sale. And the Eagles have certainly talked to the Jets. The Eagles have also talked to the Bucks at 15. And I was told today by a source in Tampa that if Tampa's guy is not there at 15, that pick will go on the market very quickly. The problem, Michael, is this. In this draft, only 8 minutes between first-round picks, not 10. First year, only 8.
New this year, right? 8 minutes between the picks there. That means the wheeling and dealing might be a little bit more impulsy. You get that only 8 minutes to make that decision. Sal Paolantonio's with the Jets. They have picks 15 or 16, and Sal Pal says the Eagles have talked to the Jets about that and the Bucks as well. So maybe Howie is trying to wheel and deal, but I want to get your thoughts on, you said Kenya and Sadiq, but what about wide receivers? The messaging obviously would be clear if they took a wide receiver in the first round. What Adam Schefter reported earlier this week, that it appears that A.J. Brown will be gone. So do they need to target a wide receiver tonight?
I do, and Our Lads National Scouting Guide Services has 41 tight ends. That's the most of any position with a draftable grade in this draft, Michael. And I have, let's see, I'm looking through my notes, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers with a first-round grade. So, Cornell Tate, Ohio State, not going to be there. Makai Lemon, no. A lot of people are interested in Jordan Tyson out of ASU. I don't like him because he's got too many injury issues in college, torn ACL, broken collarbone, aggravated hamstring, re-aggravated hamstring. He's missed too much time. You're going to play in the NFC East. You got to have a guy who's more durable than that. Denzel Boston, round 1 or 2. KC Concepcion, I hear a lot of people are very high on him. I don't think they're going to be able to get him in round 2.
You ever cover Boston's father? He was a big dude, that David Boston. He could flex it.
Oh, yeah.
He was a massive guy. So Boston, keep an eye as he could be an interesting guy there. And you know Howie, though, he likes to go interior line, offensive line. But what about edge rusher, Sal? What do we know and hear about edge rusher as a possibility?
Well, I think the number one thing they've got to look at there is getting younger and faster and bigger at the edge rush position. It's very difficult once you get into the weeds of the day 2 and day 3 picks, how the board will shake out. But obviously, that's also an area where in a free agency or a trade, they may be able to get, not free agency, in a trade, they may be able to get somebody.
Murmurs about Jonathan Grenard, the Minnesota Vikings edge rusher. Yeah. So, but do you think that's the better modus operandi here, to get a established edge rusher as opposed to drafting one?
I think you got to do both. I want established guys on the team. Listen, the championship window is open for this team. And there's not that many teams in the NFC where the championship window is open. You got San Francisco, LA, and Seattle, the three teams in the West. You got the Eagles, maybe Green Bay. So that's 5 teams where the championship window is open. I don't really see anybody in the South. Dallas, no, their defense needs so much help. Definitely not the Giants or Washington.
We're at the sports book here at the Fanatic Sportsbook. What an unbelievable spot. We're up at the balcony bar. This place is amazing. But we had the sportsbook director on earlier, and the guy, the team in the NFC that he said the most bets were coming in on for futures was the L.A. Rams. Do you think they are the class of the NFC right now?
Well, they certainly are one of the 5 teams that I just mentioned where the window is open to go to the NFC Championship game. So much can happen. Their quarterback is old and has had a lot of injuries. Now, he played pretty well last year and looks like he's in good shape, but you never know. What's going on with Puka Nacua is a major, major question mark with all the offseason issues that he's had to deal with. So I think Seattle is in a great position. It's tough to repeat, as we know, but Seattle's in a great position. Their defense is young. Their quarterback is locked in. They will find another running back. John Schneider, their GM, does a really good job of reconfiguring the team and making it relevant every year. San Francisco, you just never know with the San Francisco 49ers. They dealt with so many injuries. So I would go Seattle, LA. If I was picking Seattle, LA, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Green Bay.
They are the 5 right there. Sal Pal, you're with the Jets. We'll get your thoughts on the Eagles to finish this out, but you're with the Jets. Many people know Mendoza won, but they put Sal Paolantonio where the draft really starts. What's happening at the 2 pick to get this thing off the ground?
Well, everybody that I've talked to, Mike, believes that David Bailey, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech, really fits what Aaron Glenn's trying to do with this defense. He needs a plug-and-play, polished pass rusher. That's what Bailey is. He can stand up on the outside in a 3-4 defense. Aaron Glenn's going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Now, listen, it's the Jets. They've gone from 5 wins to 4 wins to 3 wins in the last 3 years. They were 31st in the league in sacks. Their pass rush win rate was 15%, Michael. 15%. They are a disaster on defense. There's no real wrong answer defensively for them. They need bodies, young, strong, fast bodies to get after the quarterback and save Aaron Glenn's job, basically.
The draft starts at 2. We'll see what happens with Bain. He continues to seemingly slide down draft boards. That could be something that Howie gets interested in if he's fallen.
I love Bain.
We shall see. Yeah, and I think the Eagles could use a pass rusher like that. By the way, I did talk to my people here at Ocean Casino about a book signing tour, and they would love to have a Sal Pal book signing right here at the sports book one of these times. Whenever we're good for that, these guys are on board. They're already ready to go for that. We also want to congratulate you again on the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame class of 2026. Right there, Sal Paolantonio.
Hey, Michael, let me tell you something. Without people like you supporting my career, and you have been amazing in supporting my career, I realize how many colleagues and friends that I've had in my career support me, and you would be near the top of the list. I could have not done it without your support. We've been together for a long time, and believe me, I want to thank you. And I got to run. I got to do TV, Michael. I'll talk to you on Monday, and we will roll on Monday on the NFL draft. We'll break it all down.
Awesome. Well, we got the TVs on here. We'll see your face in just a second on a different picture in a minute. Sal Paolantonio, everybody. Thank you, Sal. There you go. All right, Sal Paolantonio here on the Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. I think the big news there, guys, was Sal Pal saying the Eagles have certainly talked to the Jets. the Eagles have also talked to the Bucks about their picks. And if you look at where they're situated on this draft day, the Jets, of course, have 2 picks. They have picked 2, but they also, like the other New York team, they have picked 16, and Tampa has picked 15. And Sal Pal said that the Eagles have talked to both the Jets and the Bucks. And I'm looking at a mock draft right now. Kenyon Sadiq, 15 to the Bucks, and Mekhi Lemon, a wide receiver, to the Jets. If the Eagles are looking at 15 or 16, they could be looking at Sadiq. Now, I thought that was maybe the information of the conversation.
Yeah, and he said if the Bucks pick is not there at 15, that pick is most likely getting moved out.
But what he did also say, the Jets said the 16th pick is for sale, and the Eagles have already reached out there.
And I think if A.J. Brown is going to be traded, which it looks likely,
80%.
It's important to really get some more weapons in here for Jalen. I know everyone likes to go offensive line, Lane Johnson, who knows about his future, get a guy in here to develop and take over for him, but you got to give Jalen Hurts some weapons here, and I think Sadiq could be the guy.
I would like Sadiq. I mean, when I heard Sal say this, he was on Unsportsmanlike. Josh, do you have that bite? Let me know if you do. He said it on Unsportsmanlike, and the way that he mapped it out, I thought was a really good way to kind of say, I'm sold on this. Because if you were just like, Sadiq, he's the second tight end, he's behind Goddard, how would they use him? Are you going to get your bang for your buck? But the way that Sal Pao, I think, mapped it out on Unsportsmanlike, listen to what he said and see if this wins you over on Kenyon Sadiq if you weren't sold on him already.
If he's still sitting there at 18 to 20, if I'm Howie Roseman, I run to make a trade and turn that card in because he will create matchup problems. He will make you forget about A.J. Brown. And what is Sean Mannion's offense all about coming out of Green Bay? It's about controlling the middle of the field with tight ends, multiple tight ends, and this guy can do it. I love Kenyon Sadiq for the Eagles as a perfect matchup.
There you go. A perfect pick for the Eagles, matchup problems, and he really insinuated, too, that if you lost A.J. Brown, that he would be the replacement for Brown, not a backup to Goddard. That's what kind of was like, you know what? And, I went and watched some Sadiq tape and said, let me see how Oregon used this guy. Jet sweeps, flat, a lot of different stuff like put the ball in his hands, big physical guy, and let him make people miss, which is what you could do with A.J., but they never really did that with him here.
No, and listen, Mannion will run those 2 tight end sets. We will see that, especially if A.J.'s out the door. And we heard Rick earlier today, right? Rick Ciarella. He talked about Kenyon Sadiq is the guy. Go up and get him if you have to. So why not? Go get him. Get Jalen all the help he needs. If you know A.J.'s out the door, go find the replacement.
What Sal just told us, 15 and 16 are for sale. And this mock draft says Sadiq 15. That would tell me the Eagles are interested in Sadiq, and they're trying to see what they could do to move up there.
And really, wouldn't drafting an offensive lineman be kind of like last year, Jahad Campbell, not going to play every snap, not going to play many games?
Well, that's what we were just saying. If you listen to what Sal Pal just said there was that they would use him 2 tight end sets.
No, not Sadiq, offensive lineman, whether it's
offensive lineman
or Freeling or the Max from Arizona State. That'd be like a Jahad Campbell pick from last season.
Well, yes and no, I guess, because last year he had so many injury issues. He might be put into play. You might not say he's a starter from day one, but how many games has Lane Johnson missed over the years? And who knows? Maybe he plays right guard and beats out Tyler Steen. Maybe Landon Dickerson can't play and they need a left guard. I mean, there's no question they needed offensive line depth all year last year, right?
Yeah, and listen, I cannot fault them if they draft a lot of offensive linemen early because the replacements are going to be needed sooner rather than later.
And the A.J. Brown compensation, what's that going to look like for 2027?
Probably picks next year.
Second-round pick? I mean, are they going to fetch a second-round pick for A.J.? That could be used to draft someone offensive lineman for next year.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. if they ended up with Sadiq at the end of the night, I think I'd be cool with that. If they all end up with an offensive line, you're not as excited, but they need it.
It's
right?
not fun. I mean, it's not a fun pick, but
it's not the sexy pick.
It
It's
is
not the
it
big
is the trenches.
receiver.
It is line of scrimmage. We all know about the line of scrimmage
but
in
it's
football.
the smart pick.
Yada yada.
It's
All
the smart
of the
pick.
teams that draft skill players first, they generally don't have offensive line, and they struggle. The Eagles have won Super Bowls over the years because their offensive line. By the way, the Cubs have bases loaded with nobody out in the 10th.
Tanner Banks
Tanner
gonna blow
Banks
the
is in
game.
By the way, nice strikeout there for Banks.
That's a nice pitch right there, right on the corner.
So the Phillies had the ghost runner on, couldn't get him home. So it's
ABS
7-7. Game ended on an ABS challenge last night.
I saw
Third
that.
time in history, by the way. I know Jason Stark has been taking tolls of how many times the games have ended that way. So the Phillies had a runner on, the ghost runner, couldn't get him home, and now it's 7-7 in the 10th. Let me tell you, you feel like they have to have this game, right?
Rob Thompson's managing it like he needs to win this game to save his job.
They have pulled out a lot of stops. Adolis Garcia, by the way, hit a home run to tie the game in the 9th. And now we're 7-7. They were down in this game at one point, 5-2. They were up, then down 5-2, and now it's 7-7 in the 10th. So we'll see what ends up happening here with Tanner Banks. Can he get a little double play?
Oh,
can he get a little double disco here on the ground ball to short?
Roll a pair, Tanner.
That would be ideal. But, yeah, it feels like you're at a moment where you came back in this game. You kind of did show some fight.
Yeah.
And it feels like you kind of have to have this one because if you came back and fought to win, to come back in this game only to lose, I think that's more of a deflate. There's the ball game.
That's the game right there.
That's the ball game. And that, by the way, is out of here.
That's gone.
Wow. You just hit a grand slam. Walk-off grand slam.
It wasn't even a pop-up. It was a grand slam.
So that's 11-7. The game was
Oh,
tied.
no, wait. Did it get out?
7-7. Well, I guess they don't count the other runs, but.
Well, regardless, the Cubs have just walked it off.
So they get
8-7,
swept by Chicago.
And the Phillies have
They
now
get
lost
swept by
9 in a
Atlanta.
row.
It did not get out. It was a single.
They've now lost 9 in a row.
I mean, at what
And by the way,
point-
the Braves are over. They were winning against the Nationals. So the Braves have already won today. The Phillies have now lost, which sends them.
They're now behind the Mets. They're dead last in the division.
Well, they are now, I believe, 9.5 games. 10 games. They will be 9.5 games. Yeah, they are 9.5 games.
I mean, at what point do you start looking at the Rob Thompson timeline of when to remove this guy?
I think we've already started that
is there,
timeline, right?
Is there an off day coming up? I mean, if they get swept in Atlanta, all bets are off.
I think the timeline on it started when the article from Rosenthal came out.
Sure.
It started when Dombrowski had a comment on the article to say, we are not pondering that, which means you are pondering it. And he said it.
40 games, right?
40 game pockets is what we
benchmark.
look at.
Yeah.
So essentially it sounds like Thompson has 40 games, which means he's running out of games. And they're not playing well. And listen, something has to change. I have no problem if Rob Thompson's what changes. I'm not saying it's his fault. This team stinks right now, and you can't change the players. So you can't not do nothing.
Have to do something.
There's
Something
a lot
has
of
to
double
change.
negatives in there, I think I said.
A couple of
You can't not do nothing.
But it makes sense. Made sense to me.
All right, hanging out at the balcony bar at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. The draft on tonight. The Eagles pick 23. And you just heard what Sal Paolantonio told us here on the Sports Bash. He likes Kenyon Sadiq for the Birds. We'll see if he's there at 23. But I thought the information he gave, that was the big news. The Eagles are talking to the Jets and the Bucks, possibly to move up. That would be, another 8 spots there, maybe 7 spots with the Jets. More Sports Bash coming up. When we come back, the Flyers are up 3-0 on the Penguins. Our Flyers insider, Kevin Durso. He's going to tell us what the atmosphere was like inside that building last night and when that game took a turn and what could be coming down the road. That's all coming up next.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
cigarettes to the sky.
For good times in the Pines, make the trip to the Piccalilli Inn's Pick Patio. Watch the game and order up their world-famous wings, an ice-cold beer, or freshly made cocktail on a sunny afternoon. Or by the fire under starry skies. Skip the lane chains, get off the beaten path, and take the trip to the Pick. Follow them on Facebook for live music and specials, or order a carryout at Piccalilli.com.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
We have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic.
You come with me.
The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the draft party. We got the Eagles tonight at 23. Now, I will tell you this. When the Eagles pick tonight, it will not be at 23. That's my prediction.
I tend to agree with that.
PG, my on-site producer. So everybody always says, where's Josh? He's not here. Josh is back at the studio in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. He's got to push all the buttons and keep us on the air. And believe me, if anybody else besides Josh was back there, we'd have all sorts of problems. So for all the people who always say, where's Josh? That's Nick, Nuggets. There's Pete G. We appreciate everybody coming out. They're getting all the entry forms put together over there. And Nick you can yell at Nick if he doesn't call your name. He will be announcing the winner coming up here soon.
Blame me.
I did have a nice couple people come by that said they had never been to Ocean before or the balcony. And I've never been. I've only been up here once, but it was closed. It's the only time I've ever actually seen people in it. And there's a lot of people here, man. I'm excited to see all the people out there. Anybody excited for the Sixers game tomorrow at all? Is anybody ready for the Sixers tomorrow? All right, little Sixers. The Sixers tomorrow, you can listen on 97.3, but Joel Embiid has been listed as doubtful for tomorrow night. It looks like he will not play. But the Flyers are rearing up. They are up 3-0. And our Flyers insider, Kevin Durso, was in the building last night, and he joins us now. Durso, give us paint the picture of inside that building last night.
Well, the crowd was everything that you could have hoped for. The crowd was as expected, but I don't think the game could have gone any better. I mean, outside of the start, probably, that was about it. I mean, everything else comes through exactly the way that you would want it to. They took command of that game. Once they got a hold of it, they didn't let it go. They were able to feed off the crowd, and now they're on the cusp of the second round.
Pittsburgh scores first, 5.5 or so minutes into the game. What's it like inside there?
Yeah, you started to feel that tension build, and it definitely took the crowd out of play a little bit. It definitely had that effect. It was the exact opposite of what we talked about right before the game yesterday. The idea that get a quick start, get the crowd into it right away, and instead you take an early penalty and they score on the power play. Funny enough, quick start was my first key to the game. My second key to the game was stay out of the box. They didn't do that, and then they got scored on. So there you go. That's how that plays up, and it gets Pittsburgh in control. And I told you yesterday before the game, they hadn't trailed in the series yet. So it was a new position for them as a playoff team. Even though they had a lot of experience with it in the regular season, playing from behind and comeback wins and all that, it's a different animal in the playoffs, and you have to figure out how to approach that differently especially with a team with so many veterans on the other side. It's one of the top veterans they have. Malkin gets the goal on the power play, and it wasn't exactly, interestingly enough, I mean, it didn't feel like a great first period, but after they scored the goal, the shots were 8-2 at the time they scored the goal, and they only had 2 more shots for the rest of the period. So the Flyers actually did a decent job of containing, caught up in the shot total, and eventually chipped away at it and found an opportunity. Once it got to the second, and once they got that first one, it felt like the floodgates opened.
They're down 1-0. You just talked about all the stuff. When did something change?
I think when the physicality started to pick up, and I think that it probably starts at the end of the first period with the concurrent minors. The Hathaway gets the high sticking penalty and Crosby goes for embellishment, and that involved a discussion. You saw the reaction of the Flyers players and how they were looking for that kind of call to be made on Crosby. It wasn't picked up on camera, and I actually asked a few people who would have been watching, I hope the cameras got what Sean Couturier did. Apparently it didn't. But Couturier did an imitation of what Crosby did, and it was pretty funny to watch from my perch. Nobody else who wasn't in the building saw it. But Hathaway was doing the same thing. And once they put Crosby in the box with Hathaway and evened things up, you could already sense that now Pittsburgh was getting into a game they didn't want to play. And then when the scrum happened in the second period, that was the turning point. You get back on the power play. You take full advantage of that power play. It screamed old school, didn't it? 5 guys in the penalty box. The guys, Ziegler scores the power play goal. Beeline right for the penalty box where all of his teammates were, and to celebrate in front of the Pittsburgh penalty box too. All of a sudden, and I don't know that it was fully there from the first 2 games in Pittsburgh, but at that moment, the rivalry was alive and well again.
What did you make of the embellishment call? Did that, obviously that's been a huge story.
Yeah, I understand where everybody's coming from with it to a degree. Like, Pittsburgh doesn't want to call there. Crosby's going to sit there and say he didn't oversell it. I think if he doesn't leave his feet, they don't make the call. He leaves his feet in the face-off circle. I'll say this. Hathaway knows what he's doing there. Like, that's an experienced veteran pest who knows exactly what he's doing cutting through there. So he definitely had some purpose behind it. But Crosby, I think, also oversold it. And when it all came together, like, calling both guys in that situation from the official's perspective is trying to keep control of the game and keep things as even as possible. They're trying to not let one side or the other get on their beds, because then that just leads to more of what goes on. That's why eventually what they had to call when the scrum happened was, we're just going to send everybody to the box, because the easiest thing to do is call penalties on everybody. And they just gave one extra roughing minor to Brian Rust, who really got the whole thing started when he jumped on top of Travis Konechny. There was a lot going on beside that, and I've seen all of that too. You know, apparently Konechny kicked him at one point. The league doesn't like that type of stuff. Nothing coming from that, obviously, but either way, you know, look, Pittsburgh had 5 power plays in the game and scored twice. The Flyers had 3 power plays in the game. They scored twice too. When all was said and done, special teams wasn't the reason why either team won or lost this game. Pittsburgh has not had an answer for the Flyers all series at 5-on-5. And really, they just haven't been able to do anything to generate much offense. They've got, realistically, in the series, they've scored 4 total goals in the series in 3 games. Only one of them has come at 5-on-5. They scored a goal at 5-on-4 with the goalie pulled at the end of game 1 and 2 power play goals in game 3. So they can't figure it out at 5-on-5, and the Flyers are just commanding play in that facet of the game.
The one question, all right, so Vladar, the skate situation, I thought that was interesting that he stayed in the game. What did they do to fix it? What did they do there?
So all the skate blades are actually replaceable. They literally pop right out of the boot. So, and out of the fixture that is at the bottom of the skate. So when you lose the blade, he made a save. It popped right out. I actually picked up right away that's what went, because it emulates a broken stick, because it's a piece that goes flying. So I picked up right away. Oh, look, that's the blade. He's got no blade. Now, the interesting part of that situation is it's not the same thing as when a goalie loses it feels like a strap get loose on the mask when he makes a save. They don't have to blow play dead when a goalie doesn't have a skate blade. They can let it play out, and he's just got to deal with it. But it's very hard to move. You can definitely injure yourself if you make the wrong move. So that's why he's putting on high alert there, the officials. Hey, I don't have a blade. I can't really move, but they don't have to call play if they don't deem the need to. And then later in the game, obviously, Vladar also had the collision with Brian Rust again at net front. It kind of looked like his elbow got a kind of a hyperextension of the elbow area a little bit. He stayed in, finished the game, did allow a goal, but
Forrester flashbacks with the way he was holding his arm like that.
Well, and look at who it is too. It's your most valuable player from the whole season. So the last guy you want to see coming up holding anything or feeling any signs of pain is that guy. And the good news today is that the plan was today, apparently he was not going to get on the ice today regardless. They were going to hold him for maintenance anyway. Rick Docket did say he's feeling better today than he was last night after some treatment. The team has a full day off on Friday as well. Look, I don't suppose it's the worst thing in the world when you're up 3-0 in the series if you feel like you have to give him a game just to try to get some more time back. But if he's able to go, think about it this way too. If he's able to go in game 4 and you win and sweep the series, you're going to have a lot of time off, because the league doesn't just move one series up because 2 teams make it. They wait until the round is over. So you're going to be looking at possibly another week off before you play again. And that might just be good for everybody from the physical standpoint to have some time to heal up. And, you know, Tippett's not practicing right now. Cam York took a day today as well. Like, there's guys who are definitely feeling things right now. And anytime you can get during the playoffs is good.
I don't know if you've been listening at all today, Durso, but Flyers go to Carolina or Ottawa.
I heard
an RV and taking the show on the road, and you are more than welcome to join us.
We'll have to, we'll discuss. We'll definitely discuss. You know what? And I'm not I don't put the horse before the cart kind of thing. So they got to get that last one. Rick Docket, very even keel, as I've said all series, said the 4th one's the hardest to get, and I know he's right about that. So I do think they're in command though, based on the way they've played so far. Obviously.
Did you go in the Pittsburgh locker room at all, or were you not able to get over there?
No, the way they do post game now in the playoffs is there's a handful of players that are done in the Flyers locker room, and then they have 2 or 3 come into the press conference room too. So by the time all was said and done, we ended up talking to 7 players last night. So I didn't get any Pittsburgh players. I did make it into the room, though, for Dan Muse's press conference. So I did hear front and center, did hear him talk about that they don't have an embellishment penalty all year and Crosby's never taken one in 21 seasons and all that. And to hear that in person, my takeaway from that was that's a coach down 3-0, as first-year NHL head coach down 3-0 that doesn't have any answers.
Okay. Well, I said yesterday if Pittsburgh won Game 3, they would also win Game 4. This is over. They're done.
And you can just tell by the composure level. You can tell that they're playing a game they don't want to play. They're falling into the trap that the Flyers are setting. It's what works in the playoff. This is how, for the last 2 seasons, when the Florida Panthers made their run and won a couple of Stanley Cups, they were a physical, hard-nosed team, would get in your kitchen. They want to be in your face about it, and they weren't going to let you forget that they were going to be there all series long. It's the exact same situation. This is what the Flyers are feeding into. And then on top of it, in addition to the physical play, they're just defending so well, and they're getting contributions from up and down the lineup when it comes to the offensive production. They got 5 different goal scorers again last night. You're not expecting Rasmus Ristolainen and Nick Seeler to be the guys scoring goals, and they're the guys scoring goals in this series. So it's been incredible to see them get the depth from top to bottom.
By the way, Cates, him scoring, and his reaction, they're living on another planet right now.
Yeah, they are.
For Cates right now, the stick handling in that area of the ice was just phenomenal.
That is that move he makes is a patented James Van Riemsdyk like move that usually didn't work all the time. He wouldn't finish on it. Cates makes a great play there, and for me that was the spot, because you get a penalty that you can't dispute that goes against Pittsburgh. It's a delay of game penalty, puck out of play, so they call it every single time when they see it that way. You had your opportunity. That Pittsburgh was starting to get themselves back into it a little bit. You were concerned about Vladar for a little, especially because that goal, the second goal for Pittsburgh by Erik Karlsson, leaked through on that side where that arm was. He was holding that arm earlier, and you get a goal back. You open up the 2-goal lead. It got the crowd right back into it, and even down to like you're talking about how much fun they're having, and they're on another planet and things like that. The team posted a video today on their social media of that they isolated a camera on the penalty box during Zegras' goal. And you tell me that's not a team having fun the way that they celebrated that. They look like 5 fans that got tickets in the penalty box. They're banging on the glass. They're having a ball. So clearly, we talked about them playing with house money. They're feeling every bit of that right now. They're just enjoying the ride.
They go down, as we talked about yesterday. The energy in that building, sometimes you can't match it. Then they score. Place gets flat. They come back and don't only score, they score 3. Then Pittsburgh does get a power play goal and feels like, okay, we're back here, let's go, and then they answer right away. It's almost akin to the other night when Edgecombe comes down and hits that 3 when Boston, got the 3 from Jaylen Brown and was like, no, not tonight. Cates with that answer, it was just perfectly timed to say to Pittsburgh, you guys keep thinking you're on our level, and you're not. I thought it was just a perfect apropos ending to that game.
Yeah, well, and to your point about the 3 goals rapid fire, when they got up 2-1, there was a TV timeout between the second and the third goal. And I actually kind of thought along the lines of, it's a shame that the timeout hit when it did, because right before the timeout, while they're up 2-1, they're playing like sharks in the water that smell blood. Like they were everywhere looking for the next one. And then no sooner do you come out of the timeout, they get that third one. They open up a 2-goal lead, and you could just read it on not only from obviously the exuberance of the fans and the team's energy as well, the way they react to this. You can read it in Pittsburgh's body language too. Like another one goes in. Stuart Skinner was looking like he was having a miserable time in goal after that third one went in. Like, I can't believe this is happening right now. And then the crowd's chanting his name and really getting into it also. So you saw all fronts there.
Did they make a goalie change?
They might. I could see it. I still don't think he's the reason that they're down 3-0 in the series, but when you're looking for something to get back on the right track, I mean, the one thing Dan Muse has said all along, Pittsburgh's head coach has said all along, both last night and said it again today, was they just got to find a way to win a game. I mean, you could say the same thing for the Flyers right now. All you're focused on is winning one more to get to the next round. That's all you can focus on. But if they're trying to win a game, you might pull some strings and try to do things to change the momentum. it's not like Artur Shilovs has had a bad game, has had a bad season that he wouldn't be suitable to go into this situation and try just to turn their luck around a little bit, maybe give them something else in goal. But Stuart Skinner's also been to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals as Edmonton's goaltender before the trade to Pittsburgh. So you might lean on that too. It's tough to say. Their backs are against the wall. They're going to get desperate. They might make that change.
It was a madhouse on Madison when the Blackhawks played at the old Chicago. Last night looked a madhouse. Gritty's throwing Penguins off the I mean, it was nuts out there. By the way, per Emily Kaplan, since the playoffs have begun, NHL Shop's #1 selling jersey is Porter Martone. #2 is Trevor Zegras. Martone sales are up 1,174% since he scored back-to-back game-winning goals in his first 2 playoff games.
And
Did
he
you
got
ever think that this team was going to be this popular?
No, I didn't. I mean, for how many times we wrote them off and all of that, no, I didn't. And Martone's got a lot to do with it, obviously. His arrival has a lot to do with it. He got another point again last night. He assisted on Zegras' power play goal. So the point streak remains. He's up to, I think that's 9 straight games with a point as a 19-year-old who just showed up 3 weeks ago. It's no surprise that the fan base has bought in 1,000% on this kid. He's built for this, and he looks like he doesn't look out of place in a playoff series. I can tell you that. So it's been incredible to watch. And much like we talked about when they had the clinching game, they fell behind when in the game they clinched a playoff spot. Zegras is the type of guy you want to get that goal. He just knows how to play to this fan base. They love him, and he loves them right back with that one. And they were having quite the time celebrating.
Durso, this is one of those things where the way they're winning and the goals they're getting, it's almost like their guys haven't got going yet. Like the guys that you want to score the goals, Tippett, Konecny, Zegras had the goal, but you're getting goals from defensive men, right? You're getting guys who you don't expect to help you score goals, scoring goals for you and winning games. So it's unbelievable. Well, book your trip. Where are we going, Ottawa or Carolina? Where are we heading?
Well, Carolina's up 2-0 in the series, which if you go off of the numbers we reflected on with the Flyers being up 2-0 in a series and the record in the past and the odds of teams finishing off a series when they're up 2-0, my guess would be that Carolina is probably the destination. But you know what? Give Ottawa credit. They haven't folded. It's been a close series. The last game went double overtime. It's not over yet, so I don't know where they would be going next. All I can tell you is, well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because if Ottawa were to win the series, the Flyers get home ice for the first 2 games because they were a divisional team, not a wild card.
How about that? So
that changes.
Yeah, that changes. Well, Ottawa, I don't know. I think I actually like the fact that the Flyers have been going on the road and playing on the road, but it's an 8-hour drive to Ottawa, 7 hours to Raleigh. So we'll keep
it's funny.
it's
funny, Mike. I was thinking about that today because we've made 22 Phillies comparisons with this team a little bit. The one thing that they did in 22, they went on the road for every series for game 1, and they won game 1 every single time. When you can take that momentum and then bring it home and have the edge in the series, or have home field or home ice, can make a huge difference. They're playing kind of like that right now, where it's both the vibe on the playing surface, where what they're doing, and the connection that the team has in the locker room. Docket said it's the most close-knit team he's ever been around. He's been in the game for over 40 years, so that should say a lot.
All right, there you go. Kevin Durso, tomorrow night, Saturday night, the Flyers take on the Penguins in Game 4. You can listen to the game 8 o'clock on 97.3 ESPN. Durso, thanks, man.
You guys got it. Thanks.
All right. By the way, first game the Flyers have won on home ice since Game 4, 2016 against the Capitals. They are the first team with 4 players who scored their first career playoff goals in the same game since 2017. And 11 goals from 10 different players. That's what I was just talking about. They're getting goals from everybody. All right. Nuggets is going to tell us who is our winners coming up there. We got the closeout of the show, best of the sports bash, and the draft tonight on 97.3 ESPN. Stick
It's
around.
Sixers playoff basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN. The Sixers face the Boston Celtics. Listen as Tom McGinnis calls all the Sixers playoff action.
Maxey, another three, straight away, it's got a gas. He got a high screen by Drummond and nailed it. He came off to the right, and another triple. Timeout, Joe Mazzulla.
It's Sixers Celtics Game 3 tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on South Jersey's home for Sixers playoff basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Christian was our winner, by the way, for everybody listening on the radio. Christian from Courthouse. We're going to do a selfie picture. We're getting ready to get off the air. Congratulations to Christian and everybody out there. By the way, thanks to everybody. Tony Hinchcliffe, the winners. That show is tomorrow night. Bobby Lee. By the way, Bobby Lee is hysterical. That show is on May the 2nd. So everybody who won there and the overnight stay, congratulations to all. But Christian in Courthouse was the winner. By the way, thanks to Sal Paolantonio. He thinks Sadiq will be the pick there, or is looking forward to that. I think they trade up. Probably after listening to that Sal Pal segment, pick number 15 or 16. Don't be surprised. We'll recap it all tomorrow. We'll be back on the Sports Bash. Thanks to everybody who showed up tonight. What a great show. What a great time for Pete G and Nuggets. Josh back at the studio. This has been the Sports Bash.